Wondery Plus subscribers can listen to Crime and Sports early and ad-free right now. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts.
In the depths of an Atlanta forest, a clash between activists and authorities ends in tragedy. I'm Matthew Scher, and on my new podcast, We Came to the Forest, we expose the hidden truths behind a shootout that left one activist dead and countless lives forever changed. Binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest ad-free on Wondery Plus.
Hello, and welcome to Crime and Sports.
Yay!
Oh, yay indeed, Jimmy. Yay and crackle indeed. You may be able to tell by our voices that we are absolutely spent. Both of us just landed on a plane today to land in the the cozy confines of our wonderful little studio, finally off the road here. We were on the road for the last 5 days, bouncing from place to place and flights and not sleeping, and we're eating just pizza and hamburgers like animals.
This voice is brought to you by New York City.
Yeah, and Cincinnati and Philly, and are yelling at loud women in Philly, and you know how that all goes.
I was okay after Cincinnati. It was it's that New York weird shit that's
rain for a couple days, but never mind all that. Thank you guys so much for everything this week, for your iTunes reviews, for your love and your undying devotion. We appreciate that immensely. If you haven't done it yet, please go over to iTunes, whatever the hell it is, the purple icon, Apple Podcasts, and give us 5 stars. It doesn't matter what you say.
Appreciate you.
Tell us you're following instructions, following directions. It's not for our ego. It really isn't. It's just to climb the iTunes charts and to feed that funky algorithm.
Appease the monster.
We have to appease the monster. Another thing you can do, you can go over to shutupandgivememurder.com, where you can find all things crime and sports and small town murder. If you're not listening to Small Town Murder, you should be. You're going to enjoy it if you're not. So listen to that. You can get your merch there, any shirts and cups and mugs and bath mats and floor mats and what the hell else do they have? There's a lot of stuff there.
Shower curtains.
So go there. Go through there. And if you want to be an even bigger hero, you can do that very easily and become one of our producers, our favorite damn people on the face of the earth that keep this show going. You can do that very easily. You can follow the link over at shutupandgivememurder.com. That will take you over to patreon.com/crimeinsports, or you can just go to that. Also, you can go to PayPal and use our email address, which is crimeinsports@gmail.com, and you can make a one-time donation there. Anything is appreciated. We thank you for any and everything that you folks do for us. Thank you so much. Also, this week, get your tickets for the last weekend of Small Town Murder Live on this tour, and then we're done with it. 18, it's over. We
I don't even know what year it is.
4 shows, 4 straight nights, 4 different cities.
Boy.
It's going to be a fucking adventure. So come on out and see us.
Boy, do I!
It's going to be fun.
Feel, you know, at the end of these shows where you always feel bad for people. The only people I feel bad for are the ones that somehow slight you or don't have something that is supposed to be there in the next weekend. Because
it's going to happen.
There will be the shortest fuses.
Technical issue. Oh, I am not going to be taking kindly to anything. If let's say we haven't gotten along or something like that, and you're thinking of coming to a show and thinking that's the time maybe we'll make up. It's not. It's not. Unless I love you, don't come near me, because I will fucking punch you. I will punch you. My little brother is at the show in New York. I won't punch him. I love him. Or his pregnant wife. I won't punch her either. But other people, I'm telling you, it could have got rough.
Gotten ugly.
If I don't. So that's a warning to anybody out there. Stay the fuck away. With that said, we have a very crazy episode of Crime and Sports. A very weird one. Last week we had Maurice Claret, which was like kind of it's the prototype. It's the mold of a Crime and Sports episode. It really was. It had everything that you would imagine with Crime and Sports. This amazing potential.
Such a fall.
Fame, hard fall, coming back. I'm good now. Moments left and right. Silver-haired, middle-aged white men crawling out of the woodwork. It had it all, Jimmy. Moved home. He got breaking rules.
Yeah.
He's a mess.
Pretty rare that we ran into a lineman who played against him.
That was amazing.
That was
in Philly. A guy who played for Illinois, University of Illinois, and said that OSU kicked the shit out out of them that year.
And that game in the highlights on YouTube does not show up. So apparently Maurice didn't have that big of a game.
No, apparently not. Not that big of a game, but they still lost badly. Tonight we're going to get back into the brain damage sports again. We're going to talk about a boxer who had an odd career and an even weirder. It's a weird story, Jimmy. It's a strange story. He's good now. No, he's not. Publicly he is, but he's doing worse. It's so strange. Let's get into it right now.
Good.
Let's get it on with Dale Robert Crowe. Dale Crowe. He's a boxer. You probably never heard of him, although if you're a big boxing fan, late 90s kind of, he was an up-and-coming heavyweight, sort of. He's a white guy. He's a big white guy. So, well, this guy, under the radar a little bit, tries to give himself a nickname of The Crow, because his last name is Crowe. Just drops the E off it. Now it's cool or some shit, but we're going to Dale Crowe. Sorry, Dale. Date of birth, July 22nd, 1976.
Oh, that was when that movie was big. That's
The Crow. Well, he was fighting in the 90s. I'm the Crow now. Brandon Lee's dead.
Right.
Somebody shot him with a fucking whatever the hell it was. Messed up blank gun or something. I don't remember what happened.
There was a wad left in the chamber after a blank. So then when the other blank, there was really a blank and it wasn't a real bullet. So when that wadding from the blank that was now loaded into it, it shot that wadding through his fucking chest.
Oh, well,
and
happen.
A wadding killed him.
That'll happen. Wow. What are the odds of that, really?
It's really got to be... It's staggering.
It is.
Statistic.
How much of a pussy would his dad said he was?
Wadding? Really?
Yeah, really? You ever see me fight off 14 guys at the same time?
You ever see me punch a guy with 1 inch and blast his heart?
Wadding.
Thanks. Wadding took it?
Nice job, guy.
Yeah.
So
maybe my genes aren't as strong as I thought.
I guess not. We'll find out how strong Dale Crowe's genes are here.
That's why I named you Brandon and not Bruce.
That's right. And not Bruce Jr. I knew you couldn't carry the load.
You can't even carry the wad. Forget the load.
Never mind the load. Oh boy, poor Brandon Lee. I don't know. I was never one of those Crow people.
I didn't give a shit.
No. There's like those people who are into the Crow and the people who weren't.
And the people that were real into it were weird as fuck. I was just like,
no,
what
I
are you
don't think
doing?
so. Yeah, not my thing.
It's not that
Thanks
cool.
Anyway. This guy here, our Crow, born July 22nd, 1976, like we said, in Norwood, Ohio. He's from, I think it's down near Kentucky area is where he fights, kind of in the Cincinnati area. Is kind of where he's from. Interesting. Didn't do that on purpose.
Really?
Had that picked out before that. We were just in Cincinnati. He says his childhood. See, okay, he's got. I don't want to blow the surprise here, but he's got a book out, but I don't want to read it because. Just fuck this guy, and I just can't do it. And you will find out why later. So we're going to take a little piece of it of just a little background of where he's from, and we won't get too tied up in all this shit. We'll get more tied up into what he does and some funny shit that happens in his career.
It makes sense why Cincinnati's not like a booming metropolis.
Yeah,
being that it's. You kind of fucked yourself establishing a city right on the border of another state. You can't really grow
New
much.
York is Jersey, but it's not. But it's just a matter of it's in a weird location, like geographically. It's in a weird little. I don't know what.
The beautiful part of that town is like I don't know, a mile square. Outside of that, it's just a weird.
It's a weird town. It's a weird town. The people were awesome there.
Great people.
Whatever that smell is that permeates it, that sulfur, it makes really nice people.
Yeah.
We really had a good time. But the city itself, it's not what you'd call. It's not Paris. We'll say to look at. It's nothing like that.
Yet it's right on the water like that.
It's on the water,
strange.
Except that water. I don't know.
It's some yuck water.
Scary water.
The Ohio? Ew.
Yeah, you don't want to go in there. That's the one that catches on fire.
Yeah.
I don't think you want to be there.
No.
So when water catches a flame, I think you've got a problem.
It's a little scary.
So he says he was born in Ohio, obviously, like we said. He said he grew up with his mother and his stepfather and his grandparents. He said that when his grandparents died when he was a kid, and so he said that he tried to act like that was like an issue for him, and it's like everybody's fucking grandparents die when you're a kid. Get over it. It sucks, and then you get over it.
That's the cycle of life, man. You're supposed to see your grandparents die.
I could see if he didn't have parents and his grandparents were his only people in his family, and then they died, but he had his mother, so it's like, that's what happens then. They're older and they die, and you fucking get over it. We all did that. Both my grandfathers died, and I was like, okay, they're dead now.
If you can't get over that, you're going to be in a lot of trouble.
What's going to happen later?
Yeah, there are people that are like 8 and have 65-year-old parents.
What happens when one of your kids has SIDS and fucking stops breathing in the crib?
Then what are you
going to do? You're going to shoot up a supermarket at that point? What's the...
I love that SIDS has come up in these stories so much. That was a... You can tell that was a fucking legitimate fear for you.
It was a legitimate fear. Scared the shit out of me.
Terrified of
I didn't want them to just die for no reason. I was like, fuck, man, I'm taking good care of these kids and we're making sure they stay safe. Right. And we're fucking treating them like little eggs and making sure, and then it's just going to stop breathing in them. Fuck that. I'll hang out here and watch you breathe. You will not stop breathing.
I've seen it in the news maybe like 3 times.
Oh, no, it happens a lot. It would happen all the time.
And anytime on Dateline that SIDS comes up, it's not even.
I was going to say,
the parents actually do it.
I think it happened a lot in like the 50s and 60s and 70s, and that was just women suffocating their kids.
Yeah,
and it was men suffocating their kids, and they'd be like, "It's SIDS," and they were like, "Yep, that's the SIDS. Yep, it stopped breathing, so it must have been SIDS. Right. That's the SIDS. So you came in and it was dead, huh? Well, that's the symptoms. So I guess it's SIDS. I don't know.
That's the symptoms.
I mean, what the fuck, man?
Yeah.
So, but it does happen also.
It does,
and scared the living shit out of me.
There are innocent people who lost their child.
Absolutely,
just
it happens.
Whatever goes on there. I don't even know how it works. I just know that like the kids' breathing is cut off one way or another, whether it's... I don't know. I'm stupid as shit. I just know they stop breathing.
I promise there's no SIDS in this episode, so we don't have to know anything about it.
Okay. It's a horrible thing.
It's a terrible thing.
And if you're an innocent person and lose a kid like that, I can't imagine
even if you're a dick and you lose a kid, like it's probably tough on you anyway. I think either way, no matter what your personality is like, that's probably tough. I
just mean, didn't commit a crime. Being a dick to people, whatever.
Yeah, that
still
happens.
losing it, that's traumatic.
It would be very. So, he said that he had issues of loss and abandonment from this, which, like we said, that's the symptoms.
I'm sorry. I am punchy.
It was expected it to be dead? No, and it is. There you go. Guess we'll write another one down. They just tally it up. Another one more slash on the old fucking tally.
Throw that one in the bad bit.
The bad bit, yeah. Get it out of there. So, Jesus Christ. He says Dale here that he was when he was young he was the class clown.
Yeah,
that's how he tried to compensate for shit for the fear of SIDS.
I'm so sorry.
As a class clown. Oh, but so am I. We're both punchy. I don't know what we're gonna we're gonna laugh. It's gonna happen because neither of us have slept, and this is a funny story too.
You're exactly right. You came in and it was dead. Yep.
Yep.
That's the
check and check. That's about all we got. That's the worst thing we've ever laughed at.
I think you're right.
I think you're right.
It's definitely the worst thing. I can't stop laughing at.
You say it's a baby, right? That's the third one. Okay, good. All right, check. Because it doesn't work when your kid's like 14. Right. If we think it's something else, we're not sure.
They'll rule that something else entirely.
They're never going to believe that's it. You're never going to get away with that.
You know that part about the eye is an infant.
Jesus Christ.
13, nope.
Jesus, that's terrible. We're fucking awful people.
He sustained life way too long for this to be said.
We never usually apologize, but this is on us. This is our bad. We apologize. This is bad. So he says he's the class clown to try to get over his whatever the fuck feelings. Yeah. And he says at age 13 he meets his dad, and he says that he wanted to latch on to his dad. It's kind of as his dad. I don't know, because he never met his dad. It seems like he kind of had like some kids that don't know their parents have like a fantasy thing about their parents type of thing, and it feels like that's what he had. He said he wanted to model himself after his dad, and he learned to box to impress him. And he's a boxer, this guy, in case you don't know. He's a boxer, and he learned his box. He thought that his dad would think that was cool, or make him he was a man, or he was tough, or whatever. He grows up to be about 6 feet tall. Starts out as a cruiserweight and kind of a heavy middleweight, we'll call him. It starts out, like the 170, 175, 77 in that range. And he'll end up growing into a heavyweight. And then we'll find out how he really grows into a heavyweight using a little bit of help from science, we'll say. Here. He gets very muscly toward the end, we'll say. He's just, all of a sudden, you're like, wow, that's a big, tough-looking son of a bitch. He just looks like a big, fucking, bald-headed, tattooed, muscled up son of a bitch. Apparently has about 15 amateur fights that we can't find records of, too. And it's weird because he goes to the Gold Gloves Nationals twice, but it doesn't win the Gold Gloves. So it's hard to find out when and where. And it's kind of difficult here. He fights out of the Norwood Boxing Club in Norwood, obviously, Ohio. He ends up being such a good boxer as a teenager that he earns a full boxing scholarship to Northern Michigan University.
Great.
So that's terrific. I mean, right there, that's usually we don't see that with boxers.
Have we had any that got a full boxing scholarship?
I have not seen that a lot.
I don't think I've ever heard of that.
And not a lot of schools have boxing teams, I don't think.
That's probably why.
Yeah, Northern Michigan is like, well, we got hockey and boxing and lacrosse. You can beat the shit out of each other with sticks or your fists. Which one? What do you pick? Those are your those are your sports, guy. Sorry, only contact. So he gets a full boxing scholarship, which honestly is a promising start to a to a boxer's career in our line of work anyway. The people we deal with, it's usually, well, he wanted to be, even the ones who are like, he was in the Olympics and then he went pro, and the next thing you know, he's driving 85 miles an hour through a 40
on heroin
with 4 cop cars behind him while he's like pushing a prostitute out of the moving car
and calling his wife and calling her an asshole,
calling his wife and throwing guns out of the window as he goes. Fucking, that's usually what we have.
That's basically a rundown of every show.
That's pretty much crime and sports. Like a runaway car with a prostitute being shoved out of a door. Come see us.
And an AR being thrown out.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, by the way, people you've been asking for so long, we finally figured it out, and we finally have a way to where we will be releasing ringtones very shortly.
Great.
Right around Christmas time.
Oh, that's
We'll
nice.
be releasing crime and sports ringtones, small town murder ringtones. We're going to have a shitload of ringtones.
Outstanding.
We'll let you know the links to all that stuff, but all the ringtones you've been wanting, and obviously, if there's any that we miss, hit us up on social media, let us know, and they don't take much to make, so we'll fucking make them for you.
Microphones and hit record.
And we got that
Done.
shit. We're
we
here.
Can do it.
Look at that.
Yeah.
We're right there. This baby. Did you think it was going to die? And it did?
I want a ringtone that's just, that's the symptoms.
That's the symptoms. The symptoms. That's going to be our new t-shirt. The symptoms. We have the rules, the symptoms. Baby walked in, not supposed to die, is dead.
Yeah, done. That's the symptoms.
That's it. So, problem is here, he enters a tough man contest and wins it.
Really?
He wins a tough man contest. Well, he's a boxer. These tough man contests back then, we're talking in the mid 90s, were it's not exactly, skilled combatants.
It's not agile.
For the most part.
The biggest dude
It was
wins.
just big guys brawling and shit. A person who's like a skilled fighter does fucking well in those things, So he wins. It's not like a national one. It's some regional tough man contest. So he beats a couple construction workers and, guys who don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Right.
So
I think Butterbean won one of those.
Oh, he was like the tough man king. Yeah, that was his claim to fame.
Thing, right.
But I mean, he's a 380-pound guy who, if he hits you, he doesn't even have to hit you in the head.
No.
He hit you in the arm, he's going to knock you over. Yeah. It's just the force behind it. He's a fucking monster.
It's just physics.
Yeah, it's just physics of the whole thing. But anybody who is a skilled fighter is going to kind of go through a regional tough man contest probably pretty easily here.
Breeze through.
We're going to breeze through. So he wins this, which is terrific. That's great. Good for you. You know what I mean? He puts a little coin in his pocket, and he's using his skills and ability to earn himself a little cash and whatever. So I am never against that. Like we railed against the NCAA last week. Yeah. People should be able to do that. And he wasn't, because as a result of winning this tough man contest, he loses his scholarship to school.
Really?
Because he made money for fighting.
Oh, that is fucked up.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's the NCAA. You can only make us money for fighting. That's it. For now, you don't understand. You're a servant here. Yeah. You can make us money for fighting. Anything on the outside, even if it doesn't take away from us, still you can't have that.
You did something on your own that doesn't even compete with us.
Has nothing to do with us.
And they cut him.
He loses his scholarship, which of course forces him to. He doesn't stay in school. He's not going to stay. It's the only reason he's going.
Fuck out of here.
He's there to box. He's not there to to learn how to ice fish. Right. I think that's the main major at Northern University, Northern Michigan University.
Also, he's taking blows to the head. He already forgot the curriculum from last week, so who gives a shit?
Yeah, ice fishing and skating backwards on ice skates. I believe those are the two pieces of curriculum.
I'm good at it.
Look at that. I've never ice skated in my life.
Really?
No.
You've rollerbladed. Same thing.
I've never rollerbladed.
You never did that shit in the early 90s?
I skateboarded.
Okay.
Anybody who rollerbladed was target fucking one. Out of here, you fucker, and we'd chase them off with our boards, swinging them at them, and they'd run away.
That was a good 3-month period that rollerblades was cool.
No, there wasn't. Not for us. No. They come with those fucking their tight weird shorts on and shit and rollerblade. Oh boy, that was a good way to get your ass. It's hard to defend yourself on rollerblades too. Trust me, because I've seen kids. Hey, come on, and you can just put that down and then swing it as a weapon while someone goes backpedals in fucking rollerblades. It's nuts. I was a dick when I was a kid.
I did.
Oh no, Jim.
I was pretty good at them. I enjoyed them. They were fun for a legitimate 3-month period.
I've never honestly been on them.
It was like a summer that I enjoyed them.
This is fun.
This is dumb.
No, it's dumb. I grew out of these rollerblades. I'm not getting another pair.
Well, eventually, a skateboard, when the wheels and bearings start making noise, they're cool. When rollerblades make noise, they're like, dude, you got to get off of those things. They're going to seize up, and then what are you going to do?
Die.
Yeah, you're going to fall on your fucking face.
Flat on your face. Enjoy.
And I was always terrified of that. So once you put some miles on those goddamn things and they start making some racket, throw them the fuck out.
Yeah. No,
that's terrifying.
I could see that shit there. Now, 1996 here, he should have been on rollerblades because he would have saved himself some legal trouble. Yeah. Because he has his first kind of documented run-in with the law here. He gets a speeding ticket for going well over. It's kind of like a reckless driving thing. He has to appear for court and all this shit. And there's a bond up and all that stuff. And he doesn't appear for court. And there's
a criminal speed.
Yeah, it's a good speeding ticket. It's over whatever the fuck. And so there's a bond forfeiture in here. And he ends up getting put in jail for a couple of days till it gets all sorted out. And if they end up if you do this and your license 2 points on your license, and they end up working out some traffic horse shit with it, knocking it down to traffic out of criminal and all that sort of thing. So he has to get his shit together here. He's got bond forfeiture problems. He's got no more scholarship. He's got to start earning a living here, and he earns a living in all sorts of ways too. He lays carpet. He does shit like that. He does manual labor type of things, real work, and he also starts boxing to earn a few bucks on the side. And we'll see kind of how much this level of boxer makes a little bit later. It's not much, and
no, I can't imagine it's a lot.
It's really you take away. It's not a lot. I mean, it's you add in the training they're doing and just the food they have to eat and shit, and they need a sparring partner and they need a gym to work out in, and there's no way these fights pay for that. Yeah. That's why a lot of these guys fight every 3 weeks, and we're like, God damn, you're gonna get brain damage. Right. Well, guess what? If he doesn't fight every 3 weeks, he can't train. Right. So that's all he's got. April 29th in Kentucky, where all great the start of every great career has been in Kentucky. Not just boxing, anything. Yeah. Name a person, Jimmy. Name a great person.
Foreman, for sure.
George Foreman?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm non-boxing. Just anybody. Anybody. Just anybody. Andrew Jackson. There he goes. Kentucky. There you go. I know you hate him, but the Beatles, a lot of people like Kentucky. They're all from Kentucky. Yeah. Every single one of them was born. They put on that English accent to fool you, all from Kentucky.
All right, they're from nutted up to that Ohio River.
It's right there. It's really like the cradle of civilization, is what they call it.
It breeds talent.
It pretty much is. Yeah, it's never mind the Middle East. This is the cradle.
Water.
This is the cradle. He fights this Okay, of all the boxing we've done, he fights the most pathetic. This is the saddest person we've ever seen in our lives here. And he's going to be our newest character on the next show. Horace Broadnecks is hilarious, but there's really no character to Horace Broadnecks other than him selling insurance. So I thought about it for a while, and I'm like, I can't just have this guy knocking on doors trying to sell someone insurance, and he could say, well, you're doing that stupid, but it's still not as funny as somebody crazy. So this guy, Ed Strickland, is our new fucking guy, and I'll tell you why. Ed Strickland comes into this fight April 29th, 1997. Debut for Dale Crowe. Ed Strickland comes in. His record is 0-27 coming in.
Oh, my fuck.
His record is fucking 0-27 coming into the zero,
What
Jimmy.
number is he waiting on
Zero.
to be like, fuck it?
What is he doing? Who's letting him fight? You've lost 27 straight, guy. I don't think it's going to fucking happen for you.
27?
You can't fight anymore.
You can't fight at all.
How much brain damage does he? Did he forget that he's lost? I feel like he's like, I'm going to be a boxer every fight. Like I feel like I could do it. And he goes out there, they're like, you again. He's like, how does everybody know me here? This is crazy. And he steps in the
first time.
Hey, this is great.
You are 0-24.
He's like Bob Nelson's old punchy fucking guy. Jiffy Jeffs or whatever.
Can you imagine?
Can you fucking imagine?
0-27.
That's
what
too
much.
The fuck is he doing? Like we say, a guy will lose 10, and they're like, he could see 10 and maybe 11, and he's like, okay, this isn't working out. 27
fights. It's not like this is fights.
He keeps going out there. He keeps going. I'm going to do it this time. Hey, coach, how am I doing? All right. I'm going to get in there. That's good then. And he just goes in this. I don't know what the fuck's going on.
A lot of these guys, we rattle off like career stats and stuff, and I'm like, well, at least they're better than me. This guy's not better than me. I could do that.
You could do this career. He finishes his career. Spoiler alert. Ed Strickland doesn't win this fight. In case you were wondering, I wonder what's gonna happen. You're on the edge of your seat. Ed Strickland, oh my God, he finishes his career at 0-32.
He waited 32.
People let him fight. This isn't in a parking lot. Someone has to let you fight. And someone said, yeah, that guy. And they signed him. Signed the guy who's 0-30 to a fight. People will really be curious to see what the outcome of the fight will be. It'll be really exciting. What the fuck is that?
How do you get to I don't understand how you don't get a win. He is defeated. That's what he...
I didn't tell you the best part of this thing. This is why I think he might be the punchiest man in boxing, too. 0-32. Most of the time, when guys, however many left, they have 10 losses, it's usually like 3 KOs and 4. 32 knockouts.
He got knocked out every single fight.
Every single fight that he fucking performed in. 32 knockouts.
That is amazing.
Crazy thing, Jimmy?
Not TKOs. Knockouts.
He's been knocked out. Well, the TKOs count too.
Okay,
There's
All
knockouts, but
right.
he's been knocked out third. But that's, you're getting the shit beat out of you so bad you can't defend yourself. You're about to be pummeled into incoherence, and somebody jumps in the middle and goes, no more beating.
Stop it.
You're going to kill this man. You're going to give him the SIDS. Get away from him. Get away from him.
Not another blow.
Either that, or you've been sometimes some states the 3 knockdown rule's in effect, and if you've been knocked down 3 times in a round, that's enough.
You're gonna die.
That's enough. You've had enough, sir.
That's the SADS.
Yeah,
that's adult.
That's a drunk man fighting a bouncer. And you're like, okay, that's the third time
that
now.
Is the SADS.
Now you leave. This is the SADS instead of the SIDS. By the way, never went past the second round.
What the
He's
fuck?
never been out of the second round, by the way, before being knocked out.
I'll give him the benefit of the doubt at 10 of those. But if you get to 15,
32
somebody
straight times.
should be in your ear going, dude, it's not for you.
It's not even like he's hanging in there. He's like he's one of these guys. He's a journeyman, and he's going to hang on you, and he's going to last 5 rounds. You go in there and knock the shit out of him, and that's the end of the fight. He goes home like, where do I live again, coach? 32 times. He only stopped boxing because he forgot that he boxed. He forgot where the gym was. He forgot how to put gloves on, and he was like, what do I do now? And his wife was like, you're a garbage man, remember? And he goes, oh, yeah. And he just went to the sanitation department, and they hired him. And he goes, I'm a fucking garbage man. One of these days it's going to hit him. He's like, I'm a fucking fighter. What am I doing? Well, he's emptying a trash can.
And then somebody would throw his record in front of him and go, you are not a fighter.
You are not a fighter,
there is
sir.
Nothing
My
in you
God.
that's a fighter.
This fight, this is the most entertaining man in the history of. It says too on his profile that his alias is Ed Carter. He has to have an alias because he's the worst fighter I've ever heard in my life. So he's fought under Ed Carter a few times these 32.
This is a clever way of getting away from everybody knowing who the fuck
maybe
you
that's
are.
what it is. He was like 0-14, and he's like, well, no one will book me. I'm Ed Carter now. I'm a debuting fucking up and comer. Book me.
Or he just
Ed Carter's 0-15. He's like, shit.
His wife was probably in his ear telling him, look, if you go by your real name, you're never going to get another job.
There's no way he could remember.
18, and you're going to keep going? You better change your name.
Plugging right along. This is a knockout in the first round.
Yeah.
Clearly. You know it was going to be at least by the second. So Dale is 1-0. Really, they picked a perfect guy.
Nothing to be proud of.
He should be everyone's first fight. Ed Strickland. Here he is. Hey, come on, kid. All right. He just knocked the shit out of him and feel good about yourself.
Right
by the way, this Ed Strickland, it says his second fight was at Park West in Chicago.
No kidding.
Which was the venue we played in March, which I thought was fun. Yeah, that was great.
That's a big place.
It is. Where will we be? The Vic. We'll be at the Vic next week in Chicago. So come see us there if you're in Chicago. July 15th, 1997. This is at Coyotes in Fort Mitchell, Kentucky.
Oh, boy.
He's fighting. A lot of these fights are in like bars and then converted makeshift shit like the place where you used to have that open mic where guys would fight in the parking lot.
This is the worst.
Weird half sanctioned fights in a parking lot.
Those people are proud of what they're doing.
Oh, they're super. They have family there.
Yeah.
That's fucking weird.
They want people to see that shit.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't even invite my mom to watch me do dick jokes there. Forget throwing punches.
You don't want to get knocked out cold in the fucking parking lot of a dump like that. So
the parking lot is barely a parking lot anymore.
It really
the
is.
asphalt's all worn down and there's giant
it's all broken
patches
and shit.
Of it.
Yeah,
there's dirt here.
It looks abandoned, but somehow they serve drinks in there.
Oh, in the daylight, that place looks like it should be boarded up.
It looks like it is boarded up. It looks like it was abandoned years ago. And you're like, what was there? And then at night, there's people there drinking. You're like, what the fuck happened? This is a strange place.
It smells like it's abandoned.
It smells like it's abandoned.
Terrible.
It smells like it should be abandoned and burned to the fucking ground while people wear gas masks around it for the urine.
They get inspected, right, by the health department?
No.
How does that pass?
I can't imagine passing. I can't imagine. They got to be fucking someone's blowing somebody or there's money under the table.
It smells like there's a grease trap overflowing into the restaurant.
With half grease, half piss. That's the other thing.
And then just the beer shots pouring on top of it. Or the mat. Like it smells like they just take the beer mat and just like flip it like a towel.
Yeah, onto the pool table to really let it soak into the felt. You really want it to soak into the felt. That's where you get that good stuff there.
That's how it gets real. It's like an incense.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
a shitty
essential
bars.
oils.
Yeah, that's what they do. It's a nice scent. And then when the ball rolls on it, it really kicks it up.
It really pulls it out.
Makes the aroma go through the air. So Coyotes at Fort Mitchell, Kentucky versus Vidal Middlebrook, who this guy here, clearly he's on the road to greatness. Yeah. He's 0-4-2 coming in. So that is 0-31-2, his combined opponents' records here so far in his first two fights. So not a
win amongst them.
Not a lot of competition for him. Vidal Middlebrook ends up 1-11-3 for his career. At least he said, this isn't working. Clearly.
Why didn't he pick a name?
A nickname?
Yeah.
Vidal Middlebrook? Yeah, he had no nickname either.
The only other Vidal I've ever heard of is Sassoon. That's not
it. Yeah, no,
that's not terrifying at all.
No, he makes moose. This is a totally different thing. Way different.
Vidal and then Middlebrook on top of it.
Yeah, that sounds like a private school student. This is a second round TKO for Dale. Vidal actually wins his next fight. So Dale knocks some sense into him. It seems like knocks him out and he comes out pissed off and wins his next fight, which is his only win ever. And then he loses the next 6 and has a draw and says, that's about it, I think. I'm going to call this a career. Someone cared about him. That's what it was. No one cared about Ed Strickland. His parents were dead.
They still don't.
No, he can't be alive. Is he alive? It didn't say he was dead, but I don't know how.
And
he hasn't walked out into traffic or something. He's been knocked out 32 times. Guys in the NFL who are punch drunk, they're like, he had 8 concussions over the course of his, oh my God, he's been knocked out 32 fucking times. And that's just in the ring. God knows he's been hitting his head on and falling on down the stairs.
And it's fine to be knocked out 32 times if you've got 38, 40 wins.
Yeah, no. Zero.
His friends got to call him zero.
No one should be knocked out that many times.
Or Ott. What do they call
What's up, Ott? Big Zero.
Hey, Zero.
Mr.
What up,
Zero.
Donut? How are you?
Mr. Zero, as if to be respectful.
You fucking zero.
Jesus. So September 2nd, 97 in Memphis, he fights Earl Jackson, Dale does. This is Earl Jackson's first fight. So he's a debuter.
Yeah.
So you don't know anything about him. So again, though, no wins.
Yeah.
So 0-32 in combined opponents. By the way, this is his last and only fight as well.
All right.
He is 0-1 career.
He got the picture. I respect the shit out of that man.
Dale knocked some sense into him with a second round TKO, and he went, "This isn't for me.
Not my gig.
No one knocks me out at my day job ever." Never get knocked out there. I go in, it sucks. I'm a little bored. I leave. I go home. I'm not happy with the pay. But
nobody punches me.
I'm never unconscious.
The only time I've ever punched is on payday, and it doesn't hurt as bad as getting punched in the face.
Not as bad here. So that's 3-0 for Dale.
Yeah.
September 9th, 97, he's back at Coyotes. By the way, did you catch those dates? September 2nd, 97, September 9th, 97.
A week apart.
He fights a week apart.
Oh, my God.
Coyotes. He fights Jerry Harris, who in his career is a 7-37-3 fighter.
Where are they finding
That's
these
what
guys?
I mean. These are like the guys in the beginning of the first Rocky that Mickey's making fun of Rocky for fight. Spider Rico, he's a bum. He's a bum. That's who he's fighting.
Yeah.
It's fucking Spider Rico here.
How much? And these are all Midwestern guys, huh? I imagine.
Yeah, these are all guys from the area.
How much do you
They're all
just
guys from the
hate
area.
yourself to do that?
It's local boxing scene of fighting in bars.
I hate me enough, but not enough to go 0-32 and keep going.
Not enough to get knocked out while smelling piss and grease in a shitty bar. Oh God!
People are ordering fireball shots over your lifeless body.
Yeah, that sounds terrible. I'm cheering about it.
Yeah.
He was hip-hop's biggest mogul, the man who redefined fame, fortune, and the music industry.
The first male rapper to be honored on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, Sean Diddy Combs.
Diddy built an empire and lived a life most people only dream about.
Everybody know ain't no party like a Diddy party, so.
Yeah, that's what's up.
But just as quickly as his empire rose, it came crashing down.
Today I'm announcing the unsealing of a 3-count indictment, charging Sean Combs with racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, interstate transportation for prostitution.
I was up. I hit rock bottom, but I made no excuses. I'm disgusted. I'm so sorry.
Until you're wearing an orange jumpsuit, it's not real. Now it's real.
From his meteoric rise to his shocking fall from grace, from law and crime, this is the rise and fall of Diddy. Listen to the rise and fall of Diddy exclusively with Wondery Plus.
In the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this White Zinfandel.
Well, good. Now put it down. I'm going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles,
a big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud,
sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
And murder.
With a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.
This Jerry Harris lost the last 15 of his career and then said, that's enough. That's it. This is one of that 15 in this thing here. This fight goes the distance of 4 rounds. Yeah. But a guy like that's actually a journeyman. He knows how to hold you and possibly not get knocked out all the time because he probably got knocked out a lot.
He's got some strategy to try to not get punched.
Well, guys like this get knocked out a lot when they're younger because they don't have a lot of skills and they learn how to like hold on to go the distance and make $200. Yeah. Basically, that's what they do. If I can hold that guy for fucking 12 minutes, I can make $200. So that's gonna work.
What is worse, that life, like where you're trying to you struggle real hard for 4 rounds? What are they, 2 minutes or 3 minutes?
3 minutes. 3 minutes.
Okay, so 12 minutes. You've struggled for 12 minutes for $200, or you waste an entire fucking weekend hosting at a comedy club for $250.
That's way worse. That's way worse. Way worse. Comedy's way worse. Way worse.
You burn an entire goddamn weekend.
At least this is one shot. You train for it. You get it all out of your system. This is you have to sit there and you have to deal with Friday Night Late Show. There's never a Friday Night Late Show in boxing. Yeah. That's the thing. It's all has nothing to do with the crowd. No one could show up. You still got to fight the guy across the ring. It doesn't fucking matter. You don't have to wonder what kind of jackasses. Is there going to be a drunk lady screaming shit at me? Never doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
You still have to, and if there is, take it out on that asshole across the ring. Knock the shit out of him.
You have a relief bag right on the other side of the corner.
That's right. If there's a Josephine there, then it's that happens. That's an inside joke for about 300 people. So. This fight goes all 4 rounds. Unanimous decision for Crowe. Yeah. He beats him soundly. It's 4-0 now. Next thing you know, the next month, October 21st, he's back at Coyotes again. He's becoming a regular here.
He is.
He's a regular. He's fighting Sean Clarkson, who has a 4-8 career. Okay. That's his total career. So.
He's got some wins now.
He's got a few wins, not exactly burning up the charts here. This fight goes all 6 rounds, goes the distance. Dale wins on points.
And now he's going 6 rounds.
Now he's going 6 rounds with guys who are 4-8 career fighters here. He's 5-0 now, but I mean, he's not fought anybody of any skill. Right. November 15th, 97, so less than a month later again. Veterans Coliseum in Cedar Rapids, not in Philly. Don't think it's that one. In Cedar Rapids. He fights Larry Givens, okay? Yeah. Unfortunately, Robin Givens was probably a better fucking fighter. Because... unfortunately for this guy.
Jesus.
Well, this guy's coming into the fight. I have reason.
She at least fought a better fighter.
That's what I mean. That's if she got half a win on Tyson, I'm calling that a better career. This guy is 3-43 coming into this fight.
What the fuck?
3-43. Where are they finding these people?
Those numbers aren't even close.
They're not
man.
even close. 3-4. What the fuck are you doing? And his career total is 3-46. He ends up.
Okay.
So the TKO in round 2 here,
at least
as it should be.
To get it now.
Yeah, it's good God.
43 losses.
43 more losses than you've won. Yeah. That's terrible. It should be if you're 46-3, great career, good for you. If you're 3-46, man, don't tell anyone you did this.
Oh, good Christ.
Jesus Christ. So this is a second round TKO, bringing him to 6-0. Now, December 9th, 97, this is fucking, again, less than a month later. It was fought on November 15th last time. Back at Coyotes again. Yeah. He fights David Robinson, not the Admiral. Not the guy with sneaker commercials and big contracts and, Naval Academy diplomas and shit like that. He fights a 26-66-4 career fighter. This man has 66 losses in his fucking career. This is the ultimate journeyman here.
And really, if you add in the draws, he has 70 not wins.
Yeah, 70 not wins and almost 100 fights.
Why would you do that to yourself?
That's what I mean. For $200. That's what I mean. These people are the equivalent to that comedian that you see where you're like, the guy's been at the same level for 10, 12 years. Yeah. And not like an opener, like trying to crack it. Like these guys been like a mediocre feature for 12 years, and you're like, why are you still doing this? You're not going to crack. You're not going up.
You're doing it to yourself.
So is this just what you're saying your life is now? this forever? Because that's what it looks like.
How this stinks.
How bad do you need $200?
Right,
that's the
this
problem.
Stinks of Midwest desperation, like trying to get away from. Like, why? Just
or anywhere
desperation.
Where you're at. Yeah, just get a job. Right. Go to the sanitation department.
It's okay.
They're hiring. It's
There's
fine.
There's no shame in a hard worker.
No fucking shame in a job.
There's a whole lot of shame in
getting knocked out 32 times or getting beat 66 times. That's kind of shameful.
That's super shameful.
If you just, hey, you know what? If someone went out there, they gave it a shot, they had 3 wins and 5 losses, and they called it a career. You go, hey, good for you. Had the balls to try.
Yeah.
I respect that way more than a guy who sticks around for 66 losses or goes 0-32. So
it's the equivalent of that open mic guy that never even gets a host shot at a club
and he's
or
just
any other show that matters.
That's
just
that guy. The guy you started with, and now you're like, oh, I wonder if they need to stop doing comedy 3 years ago, or open mics once in a while. No, I'm going to go back soon. I've been writing, and you're like, no,
don't do that. Don't do that.
You weren't good to begin with. Let's just stop. So this is a TKO in round 4 for Dale. Round 4 of 6. Now Dale is 7-0, and he's fought a bunch of shitbags basically. Yeah. February 28th, 97. So he took the holiday off.
Yeah.
Good for you. Take it easy for a minute here. Yeah. He's in Cincinnati Gardens in Cincinnati.
Yes.
He fights Tyrone Armstead, who career-wise is 13-13-3. That's even.
Yeah.
You know what?
Better
than anybody else he's fucking fought. That's not bad. That's good. 500 will take it. This fight goes all 8 rounds. So I mean, this is still a guy who's not like a top contender, where if you think you're a contender, you should knock the shit. They give you this guy to knock out in the second round to show you're,
proof
up
of
and
consistency
coming.
that you can continue bashing this shit.
Absolutely. Right. So this goes all 8. Dale wins on points again.
Okay.
He's 8-0. Now he waits 4 months to fight almost. I mean, this is getting crazy now. I don't know what he's doing.
That's a long time to catch your breath.
I guess so. Yeah, 8-rounder. Yeah. June 16th, 1998 in Fort Mitchell, he fights Dwayne Smith, who another 7-45-3. 7 wins, 45 losses, 3 draws.
There's no quitting that guy.
7-45-3. Are you fucking kidding me?
My dad didn't raise no quitter.
Are you fucking kidding me? That's insane. So Dwayne gets knocked out here. TKO round 4. Yeah, it's nothing new for Dwayne. No. This happened before.
He's used to it.
He's not surprised at all. He's like, that's about right.
Again.
He shrugged his shoulders and was like, it happened again. That's what he said when he got home. It happened again.
It's done.
But 9-0 for Dale anyway. He's doing a little better. August 21st, 1998. So he's plugging right along here. Later on in the summer, he fights George Reedy, who sounds like an old man for some reason.
He does.
This guy, I don't know where they're finding these fucking... In all the boxing episodes we've ever done, I've never seen so many records of comical proportions. George Reedy, coming into this fight, is 2 wins, 43 losses, and 1 draw.
These guys have the record...
What the fuck?
They have the professional fighting record of like... somebody that plays the scratchy lottos a lot.
Yeah, and that's pretty much
2-43.
I'm 2-43.
Yeah.
I won $200 one time. That was. Then I won $5 once, and I've lost every other fucking time since then.
It's crazy.
This is insane here. This is a first-round knockout, and this finally somehow convinces George Reedy that that's enough for him. Ends his career at 244-1. So that's how bad of a beating this was.
Yeah.
It actually beat him, a really, really stubborn man, into retirement, apparently, and brings Dale to 10-0. So not a bad career going here for Dale so far. August 29th, 1998, he fights Doug Davis, who, again, 8 wins, 34 losses, and 1 draw. What the fuck are you doing?
This is legitimately the worst fighters, like opponents that anybody's ever had on the show.
For some reason, I didn't compile it. Somebody out there, we have listeners who are crazy and love to do shit like this. Compile the opponents. Just compile the records of his first 11 opponents.
There's nobody worse.
Because it's amazing.
There's nobody that's fought worse opponents.
Hundreds of losses and like 22 wins and hundreds of losses. It's
and
fucking
don't even
insane.
ask if any of these people are linkers. There's no fucking
linkers. No linkers. No, we're
way.
Not. Later on, he fights some linkers, but these guys, you got to be fucking non-Lincoln son of a bitches here. This fight goes all 6 rounds somehow. Maybe this guy's learned how to hold. I'm not sure. Unanimous decision though for Dale. Thank fuck for him. Imagine if there's a judge saying that guy's better than you. Have you seen his record? He's no, sir. No, I'm sorry. All 6, 11-0 now for Dale. This brings us to October 10th, 98. So he's fighting every month and a half or so, plugging right along here. October 10th, 98 in Cincinnati, he fights Mike McGrady, who is a 9-21-1 fighter, so 9 wins, 21 losses. Again, so he's only his best fighter he's fought was
14
was 13 and 13 and 0-0. Right. So 5 just even. Even's the best he's gotten to. 0-0 happens too. This is a TKO in round 7. So he's not knocking these tomato cans out in the first and second round. Normally, a lot of our fighters that are up and comers, when they fight these crappy guys in the beginning of their careers,
blast through them.
Yeah, not even guys this bad too, and then they're busting through them 2 rounds, 1 round, things like that. This guy's going distances.
He's dancing.
Yeah, 12 rounds, a long fucking time.
And he's a mid cruiserweight at this point.
This is he's worked. I think this is he's a heavyweight now.
But he's heavyweight and wars.
He in wars, but he's like a 200-pound heavyweight at this point in time. Shit. He's not a big heavyweight. He's a small heavyweight. I mean, 200-pound heavyweights don't do much generally. I mean, Evander Holyfield was a light heavyweight, but he was he was a cruiserweight before that. He had to come up to be a heavyweight.
Was he fighting like 245 or something?
Fuck no. Oh no, Evander was slim and trim, man.
Really?
Oh yeah.
I mean, I know he was.
He got bigger as the years went on, but his first few years in the heavyweight division, he was
Isn't he tall though?
No, he's not that tall. No? I mean, he'd go in at under 210 or 210ish, something like that. I mean, Tyson was heavier than them when they fought. I'm pretty sure.
Well, he's fucking.
And he was only 220.
He's so big though.
Well, Tyson's just a brick. He's a brick man. Now, November of 98, he's been married at this point for a little while. He's having some trouble in his marriage. This will be a troubled marriage, as we'll talk about. But November of 98, he has a son and names him Mason. So he dodged a bullet. Jimmy's like, no, he didn't. He didn't go there. Thankfully, not Dale Jr. He goes with Mason as his son's name, which I don't care. It's not Junior. Good name.
Good for you.
Good job. Good decision.
Way to work it out.
Yep, good decision. So May 22nd, 1999. So he takes some time off. Last he fought before that was October of 98. So he probably had to take some time, work a real job for a while or whatever. I don't know. Get some health insurance going, be a dad. I don't know what he had to do here. But he comes back May 22nd, 1999 at the Grand Victoria Casino, where all the dreams come true.
Is that in Cincinnati?
That one, I believe, is in Illinois. Okay. This is versus John Moore, which sounds like an alias. That sounds like that's not his real name. Like he just made that up. Which honestly, if my boxing record was 11 wins, 56 losses, and 2 draws, I would probably give myself an alias too. I don't think I would go by my real name either.
Especially a super common one like that.
I'm not going to dishonor my family like that. His name is probably something very ethnic, or say just John Moore is my name.
You'll never find me on Facebook.
How do you spell that? Whatever.
Yeah.
He just says, just pick it. It doesn't fucking matter.
It's all the same.
It's all the same. It's not my name anyway. This guy's 11-56-2 in his career. So 56 fucking losses. That's a lot of beatings to take. Imagine being beaten up 56 times by professional fighters.
No.
That's a lot. It's a lot of beatings to take.
How many more can he take?
And a lot of planned beatings where somebody really had strategy about it and they thought about how they were going to beat you up and then they went in and executed it and beat the shit out of you. That's enough, I think. I've been conspired against quite enough, thank you. This fight goes all 8 rounds, though. Really? All 8 rounds with these, but he got these tomato cans taking him 8 rounds. This brings him to he wins it, unanimous decision. But I mean, he's still not being able to knock this guy out, or at least put him away TKO here. Brings him to 13-0. Well, good for you, Dale. Dale is now 13-0. June 21st, 1999. This fight he fights Rick Lainhart, Lainhart.
That sounds like Lainhart.
Lainhart.
Yeah.
This guy, the most wins of anybody who's ever fought.
11?
So we'll say that. No, he's got 21 wins.
Okay.
Also has 28 losses.
Yeah.
So he gets around, though. But still, that's a fighter. You know, he's winning some, he's losing some. Good for you. He loses this one, and Dale knocks him out. It's a TKO in the second round.
Okay.
So I was surprised by that. I expected this to go. Yeah, I thought this was going to go the distance. I was positive of it, but it doesn't. This brings him to 14-0. So once you get past the 10-0 thing, that's when they start looking at you.
Sure.
And 15-0 is really like, at that point, you're going, 15-0 is something. That's when they start looking to give you contenders to fight against and shit like that. June 25th, 99, at the Grand Victoria Casino. Again, he fights John Moore. Again, same guy or different guy using the same alias. Not sure. But again, he beats John Moore. This time, another unanimous decision. So John Moore, he can't knock out. Let's just say that. He's going to hold him and whatever the fuck happens here. But this brings him to 15-0.
There you go.
So 15-0. This is the point where they start. Well, look at that. I think your management wants to get you to 15-0 because that gets you an opportunity to maybe get on TV or some lower level. You're on ESPN on a Thursday night at 2 a.m. or some shit like that.
Make a little bit extra money for your little boy.
Couple of bucks for your extra boy. That's 15-0 and Grace.
That's it.
This is Grace, my friend, because it's a weird trip from here on out. Up till now, I mean, he got a boxing scholarship, had kind of a rocky upbringing, and that's fine. Things happen.
He got kicked out of school for something that's really not his fault.
For fighting. He was fighting. He's just trying to make a couple extra bucks. He had a speeding ticket when he's a kid. Okay, he's 20 years old. He had a fucking speeding ticket.
He's not taking boosters' money. He's going in earning a living.
Yeah, I mean, what are you going to do? Yeah, he went out and literally went out and got his brains knocked out for it. So that's up to him, I think, at that point. They're his fucking brains. What do you want?
I just see it now, right now from the collegiate side, where if you're out there and then you get hurt doing that, then what are we going to do? Then
they cut your scholarship. That's all.
There you go.
They don't have to pay for it. That's what they do to these fucking kids.
Put a clause in there that if you get hurt and you can't come to school and you can't perform the duty that you're getting this education for, then you're out.
Shit, they cut their scholarships for less than that. So they could do anything. It's ridiculous. So he comes back here after his Grace. He's like, "Ooh, boy, fresh off of Grace."
Yeah, feels real good.
He's feeling good. He's like, "I'm at my peak right now." Shadow boxing.
Yeah.
And August 28th, 1999. This is the other side of Grace right here at the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Vegas, baby.
Right.
So now we're not in a fucking shitty bar in Kentucky somewhere. This is the real deal. You were in Vegas. He's fighting Lawrence Clay Bay.
No,
that's his name. There's no nicknames in there. Clay isn't his nickname. Like I'm the Clay man. His name is Lawrence Clay Bay. Period. Sounds like a wide receiver. He is 9-0 coming in. Lawrence is. This is what I mean. Now, once they get to 15, now it's like, okay, we're going to book him in Vegas, and now you got to fight another fighter with a winning record. Now we see what happens. Now there's no more hiding after 15.
Somebody's leaving here with a loss.
Yeah, if you
both of them have 0, that's great.
Look at Mike Tyson's first 20 fights on YouTube. It takes like 15 minutes because he knocks everybody out in 10 seconds. But the first 15 fights are like there's like white guys with mustaches that weigh 195 pounds that he fucking knocks through the ropes and shit, and you're like, good God,
it's very rare that a boxer with a mustache is any good.
No, outside of the 80s, you got those guys. Those black dudes had some good mustaches that could kick some ass.
Holyfield's mustache was pretty decent.
He had a good mustache, going. So, but this is a different deal. Tyson be just knocking lanky dudes out, arms flailing around while he's beating the shit out of him. You're like, God, that's not fair. They should have stopped that fight before it started. Like, this clearly isn't going to work. This is unfair. So this fight goes all 8 rounds.
Oh boy.
So this is something. This is a battle here of 2 undefeated fighters, 15-0 and 9-0.
How'd it go
in Vegas? And our boy here, Dale Crowe, loses a unanimous decision in 8 rounds. So 15-1. So his first chance to prove something, and he proves nothing. He went all 8 rounds. He didn't get knocked out, but still doesn't really prove anything. He went all 8 rounds with Papa Moore, too. John Moore. His nickname was Papa, by the way, John Moore.
Sounds like it would be.
Yeah. Not Papa John Moore. It was John Papa Moore, which I don't get it. So September 18th, 1999, he's back at the Grand Victoria Casino. So you go from a better casino back downstairs here now to the Grand Victoria Casino. And he fights Jerry Brown, the governor of California, which doesn't seem like a fair fight because Jerry Brown Brown is about 70 years old at this point, but somehow, I don't know who the fuck this Jerry Brown is. He's 6-15 coming in.
You imagine if Papa John Moore bought a Papa John's?
That'd be great.
Just the trajectory of his life. He's like, fuck it, I'm not boxing anymore. I'm just going to be the guy that owns a pizza place. Happens to have the same name as me. It's
fine.
Great.
Shit.
And then he's racist.
No. What the fuck? But I'm black.
This can't win.
I'm black. This isn't right. It's not fair. I don't know if John Moore's black.
My boss hates me.
There's no picture of that guy like anywhere, so I don't know. But yeah, me? I hate me? How do I hate me? I don't understand it. What the fuck? Jerry Brown ends up 8-19-0 for his career. So 8 wins, 19 losses in his career. This is a first-round TKO for Dale. So Dale comes back with a vengeance.
Great.
I feel like they're like, we need someone with a glass jaw. He needs to knock somebody out and feel good about himself.
He needs a win.
He needs a win. So good, solid wins. Brings him to 16-1. Then in October 1st, 1999 here, so less than 2 weeks later, he's fighting again. And he goes all the way from the Grand Victoria Casino to Randers Hall in Randers, Denmark. So all the way to Denmark.
Okay.
Yeah, he's going to fight in Denmark.
Randers Hall sounds terrible in America.
In America, that doesn't sound. In Denmark, it could be like some beautiful place that's been there for 200 years, and it's fantastic.
Michelangelo painting on the ceiling or some shit.
It's fucking gorgeous, and it's got ice people sculpted shit there for you. I don't know who comes from Denmark.
It's steeped in amazing history.
We know. I
know Mariah.
I was going to say
that's all I know.
Mariah, our listener, who tweets at us, and she's very nice.
She's the only person I know in Denmark.
Yes.
Or ever from there.
Who the fuck knows? So here's a guy from there, Brian Nielsen, the fighter he fights. This guy, this seems like a bad decision for old Dale here. Yeah. Brian Nielsen coming into this fight is 50-1.
Oh, wow.
50 wins and 1 loss.
How do we not know who that guy is?
This guy, because he's a European guy.
That's
he's
why.
not European. See, heavyweights are a weird thing because it depends on who you fight. Right. If you're fighting a bunch of fucking guys in Denmark, you can be 50-1, but you're not fighting black guys. You're not fighting Russian guys. You're not fighting, the best from the rest of the world. Right. You're fighting a bunch of guys in Denmark. But he was known as a really good fighter. I read up on him a little bit. His career, he is 64-3-0.
Wow.
So it's a good. I don't give a shit who you're fighting. It's a good record.
That's great.
It's goddamn good. This fight goes all 8 rounds. Mm-hmm. So Dale fucking hanging in there with the local badass. This shows you how tough the competition is in Denmark. Yeah. Dale comes over there and goes all 8 with a guy who's 50-1. And loses to this guy too. Dale does loses. He's 16-2 now, and Brian Nielsen goes on to
lose 2 more in his entire life,
and then live in Denmark forever. So I don't know.
I'll bet he's huge there.
He's probably a real big fucking star there. Probably is, honestly. That's the thing in Europe. Any other country,
he's their greatest athlete.
In any country, you have local heroes, and if he's good there, I mean, they don't care if he can't beat Dale Crowe or if he takes him 8 rounds to beat Dale Crowe. He beats all the other Denmark people. Danish?
I don't know what they are.
Danish. I think it's Danish.
He's got free wood shoes for the rest of his life, though,
I like
for sure.
Danish. So, November 4th, definitely. Cheese ones. Delicious. November 4th, 99. Now, he just fought a 50-1 fighter and went the distance with him. Yeah. So, I assume he took some fucking blows, probably. Sure, I don't think that was just some guy holding on to him. Right. A month later, he fights again. So this is about money. Yeah, plain and simple. He fights in Paducah, Kentucky.
So he flies that whole flight all the way back to America.
Yeah.
After a loss.
Yeah.
And then fighting in fucking Paducah.
Fights a month later in Paducah, depressed. He fights Antonio Colbert or Colbert. I'm not sure. We're going to call him Antonio Colbert, I think, and make him sound a little more.
Is he just Spanish or is he just a black dude or is he?
Is he just a black dude just standing there? What is he, just some black guy standing there? That sounded terrible. I know exactly what you mean with the way he said it.
Is he like cultured in I am Antonio Colbert?
He's probably just Antonio Colbert.
I'm Antonio.
I think he's just Antonio Colbert from Paducah, probably. His parents wanted to call him Tony, and they thought they were fucking getting fancy.
A power forward for the Pacers named Antonio. That was a big black dude. I don't remember his name.
Jesus Christ!
There's a lot of Antonios that are just tough black dudes.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to go with Antonio Colbert being
like Banderas.
I don't think he's a French-Spanish man. Hello, I am Antonio Colbert. I have come to box.
Or is he like a goofy-looking white dude?
I have started to box because my baby died of the SIDS. And now I must avenge his soul.
Revenge? Avenge.
I will do it against anyone I can find, including this man named Dale, who I have found in Paducah, Kentucky.
And I assume
I have come all the way here
representative for SIDS.
Dale Crowe is the spreader of the SIDS to the babies. I will avenge my baby.
Unbelievable.
So he's 1-3 coming in, so not a spectacular career there, and it really isn't a spectacular career because his total career he ends up 6-34. So not good. We'll just say here. This goes all 6 rounds though. Think about all the rounds this guy's going, all the punches to the fucking head.
It is a lot.
Yeah, this isn't a lot of 2-round fights. Right. This is a lot of rounds he's fighting here, so this is a 17-2. He wins by unanimous decision, at least. Brings him to 17-2. Fights 2 months later, January 8th of 2000. Now let's remember this place. It's a place called Peel's Palace in Erlanger, Kentucky. Okay, remember this place because we're going to talk about this place in depth in a few minutes here. It's a kind of a bar, I guess it's been described as. It's not a sports venue. We'll put it that way. It's not an arena. It's not a palace, as the name would
Peel's Palace,
as the name would portray. It's not any. It's they put a makeshift ring up and they have fights there.
Palace is used ironically.
It's very ironic. It's one of those things where there's a ring and the ceiling looks too low. It looks like if the guys jump too high. I feel like it's one of the, I'm not sure if it is, but I feel like it's one of those places where you're like
head on the can lighting.
Yeah, the ceiling is made for you to be walking on the floor, not elevated 5 feet from the floor and standing up. So it's one of those. He fights Antonio Colbert again. He's like,
he's coming back.
I am not done with Antonio. I am not done with the Dale Crowe. He beat me once, but I think I can take him this time. I will avenge my boy.
My boy is worth it.
My boy is worth a beating. My boy is worth the concussions I will suffer to avenge his death, his untimely demise. So,
he is too young.
He is too young, just too young. He has no women to romance. He has not done the things that he should do in his life. So this against Antonio Colbert, he wins. Dale does by TKO in the 6th round of 6. Because I can't let this go the fucking distance again and just beat the shit out of him in the 6th till they stopped it. This brings him up to 18-2. Okay. Now, after his second loss a few fights ago that we talked about, his Nielsen loss in Denmark, this is when everything changes for him. It's amazing. After he has a sudden weight gain and it's all muscle. Yeah. It's weird. It's so strange because normally it's very difficult. You're a man, Jimmy.
Kinda.
You find it difficult, I assume, to put on 25 pounds of muscle in like 4 months, right?
But I can pack
it's
on
tough,
the
right?
fat.
Yeah, even 25 pounds of fat would be tough to put on in 2 months.
A while. 2 months, that's fast.
That's a lot of fat. And but muscle to make it all just make you jacked.
I'd have to quit this.
That's all you'd have to do. You have to get a nutritionist. You'd be a fucking mess.
Somebody have to tell me what to do.
You'd have to that would be your job basically to train. Well, he goes in a few short months. He goes from 200 pounds to 225 of solid fucking muscle.
Wow.
Which kind of not natural, I don't think. And we find out it's not natural.
It'll raise a red flag.
It's going to raise a little bit of a red flag. He says here, God damn it, what do you say? Let's do it in their own words and find out what this asshole has to say about this shit. Because, I don't know, we haven't heard from him yet. Let's find out. He says, in their own words, quote, my problem is I wasn't taking things seriously enough. I had a lot of responsibilities. I have a family and I got myself in financial difficulties. Now I've got my priorities all straight and I want to be champ eventually. Things are going pretty good, but I also know this whole thing's a big chance for me. I used to lay carpet, but it was taking too much time out of my training, so I recently started boxing full time. and taking a shitload of steroids.
Right.
Did I mention that? It's when you're taking steroids, it's hard to lay carpet. You just get angry at carpet, and it doesn't lay straight when you do it that way.
And when you take steroids and lay carpet, just your leg gets really big.
Just one
from
leg.
Slamming that fucking
Plus,
rake thing into the wall.
Yeah, just kicking it.
Yeah.
Plus, they were just fucking, there was carpet just stapled to the fucking walls and the ceiling, and people were like, that's not where. He was like, what? What? Motherfucker?
It's
you don't
there.
like that shit?
You wanted that much, I put that much in.
And then he tore your house down. That's how much square footage is in there. I put it on. It's not all on the floor, but that's your fucking problem. It's in there. You put it on the floor. Piece it together.
A few miles from the glass spires of Midtown Atlanta lies the South River Forest. In 2021 and 2022, the woods became a home to activists from all over the country who gathered to stop the nearby construction of a massive new police training facility, nicknamed Cop City.
At approximately 9 o'clock this morning, as law enforcement was moving through various sectors of the property, an individual, without warning, shot a Georgia State Patrol trooper.
This is We Came to the Forest, a story about resistance.
The abolitionist mission isn't done until every prison is empty and shut down.
Love and fellowship.
It was probably the happiest I've ever been in my life.
And the lengths we'll go to protect the things we hold closest to our hearts. Follow We Came to the Forest on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus.
In the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this white Zinfandel.
Well, good. Now put it down. We're going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles.
A big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud.
Sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
And murder.
With a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.
At this point, he's going through a divorce also, so he has a son. He's going through a divorce. He's got fucking roids happening on him. There's a lot of pressure on this guy right now. And during this time, this is when his boxing career is at a real turning point. He could go one way or the other. He could turn into one of these guys who's, 17, 21, and 5, or he could end up being a guy who's 31 and 3, whatever. So,
if you're taking steroids and going through a divorce and your profession is beating the shit out of people, you could really channel a couple of anger.
I would say
you could channel some into a very positive way.
That's what I mean.
And really further yourself.
You could channel is
Believe
the best
me,
way to do it.
He's fueled with rage
he's
right now.
very fueled with rage, but it's tough for him here. Now, according to his trainer, a guy named Rob Radford, his silver-haired middle-aged white man number 1, I guess, he's trained him for 5 years at this point. Trained him at his Boxing for Fitness Center in Madisonville. He says about Dale, quote, "Right now, a big payday for us is anywhere from $6,000 to $10,000. That's a big payday, which is a great payday. I'd love to make that in a day, but we've heard of boxing a lot. He made $3.2 million for this fight, or he made $800,000, that'd be great." Radford goes on to say, quote, "If he wins this fight, he's within 6 months to a year of making at least $100,000 per fight." So that's what I mean. Right. There are levels, and he's at that level. It's 6,000 to 10,000. If he starts losing, he's going to drop down to the 1,500, 2,000 range. If he starts winning, he's going to be in the $100,000 range. So this is a
like comedy,
a fragile win,
always
a fragile
chasing
thing.
That carrot,
chasing that fucking carrot. If you do this
it might,
it could happen.
It's not a this is going to happen. If you do this, You're set up to possibly.
That's in boxing. You actually do that though, because you fight and then you win. Right. You won. Yeah. There's no there's no they like that guy better because he's younger. No, you beat him. Right. That's it. It's over with. That's the fucking end of it.
Times are a change.
Well, she's only 21, so they want to get no. Actually, you just knocked her the fuck out. So guess what? You're going on to the next thing. Yeah, you're getting the title shot. It's the way it works. So, they said if he wins and if he wins a few more, he's going to be, he can do well. Mm-hmm. This is, there's a big article pushing him, fighting. He's going to fight on TV. This fight's going to be on television. It's going to be on a local Fox Sports affiliate, but he's on television. It's something. He's fighting a guy named Fres Oquendo, Fers. I don't know if it's Fresca Quendo, here of Chicago. This guy, Fres here, is 15-0 with 9 knockouts. So he's a real contender. Yeah. This is he's basically reached that point again where he's got to fight
prove himself,
prove it again, and if he wins, he wins. Otherwise, he's going to be the guy at the up and comers fight. That's not the guy you want to be. That's the when you make shit money. So he says, quote, Radford, this guy, his trainer says, quote, if Dale wins, that makes him 15th in the world, and then you're getting somewhere because Fres is number 15 in the world, and if Dale beats him, he'll take over his spot.
With 9 knockouts and 15-0, was that what he was?
15-0. He's number 15th in the world. Yeah, but ranked by the North American Boxing Federation, which I don't know what the fuck that is, but still. Also
that's NAMFA. That's so close.
Oh, that's close to NAMBLA. Way too close to someone's going to accidentally Google search you and be like, Jesus,
what the fuck?
I just want to box. I don't want to touch kids. What the fuck, man?
Type in NAMB and then you hit the first link.
This is not great.
That's probably a problem.
God damn. Cincinnati promoter Bill Phelan, they say, puts on occasional pro boxing shows in the tri-state. So, these are top highbrow affairs. He says about Crowe that his biggest asset is his toughness. He says, quote, I've never seen him hurt. His only losses were by decisions, and he's got a really strong chin. Plus, he's fast and he's a southpaw, and guys don't like to fight left-handed.
Oh, he's a lefty.
Which is true also, yeah. That's why a lot of these fights, too, I'm sure, are sloppy, unanimous decisions, because guys get weird with lefties. They hold them. They don't know how to go about it.
A punch against that guy.
It's a weird thing. Well, it's just everything. It's not what you're used to. Right. And you can train against southpaws, but it's still just it's like guys left-handed pitchers. It's the same thing. It comes out different.
Right.
It's a weird thing. The angles are just different from a lefty.
When you're throwing a punch with your right, and that's the same side that his power punch is coming from.
He
it's
can
just weird.
counter, and he's used to that because he's been fighting righties his whole life. That's all he fights. So it's one of those things. Yeah, the southpaw has the advantage. Again, we're talking a Rocky situation here.
I'd love to watch two southpaws going at it though.
I don't think
I've seen that recently.
It's usually I love like a smooth southpaw. I like a fucking quick smooth. I love that shit. It's fun shit to watch. He's got a real Rocky thing going on here, Crowe. He's trying to be like a Rocky.
Okay.
He's a fucking mediocrely skilled fucking white brawler. He was from Philly, Rocky. So
it's almost Midwest.
That is not the Midwest.
Is that East Coast?
Philly is absolutely
I get that
the East Coast.
It's on the fucking ocean and there's a port, but
that's the East Coast. It's an hour from New York City.
It's also an hour
Philly?
from fucking
Philly is not if that's the Midwest, then New York City's the Midwest. That is as East Coast as you get.
You're right.
Pittsburgh is the Midwest.
Yeah, but you're only a couple hours from Pittsburgh too.
But Pittsburgh, like culturally, is the Midwest.
Yeah,
cultural Pittsburgh is
Philly
it's the
very,
Midwest. Philly is Philly is like New York's pissed off younger brother. Even though they're older.
See them as like fucking Pittsburgh people.
Yeah. Philly's an angry older brother whose younger brother's done better than him. That's what Philly is, and they're pissed off about it. Like, he's fucking fantastic. I heard about everything he's doing. It's great. You know what I do? I got my own carpet laying business, right? I fucking told you that, didn't I? I'm doing pretty fucking good too. I just bought a new truck.
Yeah.
I just bought a new fucking truck. I don't care about his fucking house. I don't need a big house like that. I don't need it.
And Philly's had a parade much more recently than Pittsburgh too.
I don't need all them goddamn museums. You think I need all that shit? What do you think I need? Operas? I don't need no fucking operas. I don't need none of that. The Sixers are getting better. It's going to be all right.
Ben Franklin's from here.
Yeah, eat my shit. You want to talk culture? Suck my dick. Ben Franklin's from here. That's your fucking culture. Eat my balls. How's that?
Come over here. Let's have a water ice.
Yeah, boy. So, February 6, 2000 is the fight against, this is Fast Frace Akendo. That's what he goes with. Fast Frace. He hasn't fought him yet. No, he fought him here. This is on the undercard of the headliner is Hector Macho Camacho Jr.
Wow.
Not senior. Junior.
He had a
junior. Fighting, on this. So it's on TV because people want to see that. It's at the Grand Victoria Casino in Elgin, Illinois. Fighting Fast Frace Akendo. He ends up, by the way, Akendo, a 37-8 career.
It's a good fight.
So that's a goddamn good fighter here. This fight goes all 10 rounds. So it's a fucking war.
Yeah.
And well, he has a good chin, like they said. Dale's pretty damn tough. But he loses a unanimous decision in 10 rounds. Frace is he's just a more skilled fighter. And this brings him to 18-3.
Yeah.
And he's pissed off about it, obviously. April 7th, a couple months later here, 2000, he's back at the damn casino again, Grand Victoria. He fights Lorenzo Boyd. This guy's just a journeyman. 30 wins, 54 losses, and 1 draw. So that's just a lot of fights. Whole lot of beatings. Goes all 8 rounds, unanimous decision. This time Dale wins, bringing him to 19-3. June 11, 2000, Lucky Star Casino in Concho, Illinois, or Conco, Illinois, or not Illinois, Oklahoma.
Oh, even worse. That's Concho for sure.
Concho. Lucky Star Casino in Concho, Oklahoma.
On the side of a freeway.
Oh, you know it. There's signs for miles.
You can hear Jake breaks through the through the round.
Signs for miles that Sir Mix-a-Lot will be there in 3 months. They're real excited about it.
I Dream of Genius signing autographs.
We got one of them Journey impersonator bands coming in. It's going to be pretty good. After that, they got 38 Special impersonator band going to open for them, so we're pretty excited about it. I mean, they ain't bragging or nothing.
They could get 38 Special.
They could probably actually get the real 38 Special. You're probably right. Yeah, you're absolutely right. What am I talking about? No one impersonates 38 Special. You just get 38 Special.
You either get 38 Special or a wedding DJ that only plays 38 Special.
I got both albums. Oh, you do? All right. Well, then, never mind.
Let's do the
Let's just put the CD on.
That's a whole 2 hours entertainment.
Fuck it, man. So he fights Cliff Couser, Couser, who is 18-5-2 coming in. Not bad. He's a Dale. He's kind of on the same level as Dale. He ends up being 26-22-2 for his career.
Jesus, it went south right after this.
It went kind of south here. This goes all 10 rounds again. So how many rounds and beatings and a lot of shots to the head this Dale has taken. He loses, Dale does, going in 10, bringing him to 19-4. Starting to get a little ugly now, 19-4. That's not terrific. September 8th, 2000, he fights again. So he just is fucking plugging June 11th, September 8th. Back at the Grand Victoria Casino, fighting Troy Weeda. He is a 37-7-2 fighter coming in. Pretty good fighter, 46-26-2 career, so he gets around.
It turns.
Yeah.
After they fight Dale, it turns.
They keep hanging on and hanging. Well, it seems like that's when he's getting older, and then they just fall off the boxing. You kind of fall off a cliff. It's a certain thing.
Yeah,
hand-eye shit. Go, your hand speed goes quick. I would say.
If you go, like I wear glasses, and I go to the doctor every year, and the doctor will tell you that every year you get an eye checkup. It's not just to see if your prescription needs to be changed or not. It's to see how your health and
how fucked up your eyes are now.
And last year I got a higher prescription. I was like, it seems like that's a big jump, and he goes, "Oh yeah. In the next couple of years,
you're falling apart.
Things are going to be bad.
Yeah, it's going to get bad.
Like,
you understand?
I'm 37.
Your balls are going to fall off. You have no idea. They fall right off while you're walking.
Between 35 and 40, your eyes get way worse.
Jesus Christ!
And so if you're doing anything that has to do with hand-eye coordination, your eyes aren't great to begin with.
Oh, you're in trouble.
You're going to be shit's going to go bad.
And your hand speed, though, your reflexes, like every wide receiver, it's the famous thing they always say, like your foot speed doesn't go first. It's your hands go first,
right.
And it's not it's just a matter of the ball that you were like, oh, I can grab that.
Right.
The year before you grabbed it in time. This year it's off your fingertips because you didn't quite get them out there.
Right.
And you think you did, and you're like, everything seems the same.
Right.
Why isn't this working?
But if your eyes decay faster,
then you got that too to deal with.
And it's that close to the brain, and all those other nerves are so much further. Fuck yeah. The further you get from the brain, the faster they decay, I imagine.
I would think so. This Troy Weeda doesn't last long. This is a TKO in round 1.
Yeah.
So I don't know what Dale did, but he had Troy's number. number here. This brings us to November 10th, 2000 in Dallas, where he fights Roy Bedwell, who is a 15-58-1 fighter coming in. His career ends up being 15-71-1. So he never wins another fight, but he fights a lot more.
The amount of punches thrown.
Jesus, and rounds. Good God, this is a KO in round 2.
Mm-hmm.
Dale wins this one, bringing him to 21-4. This brings us to a very, very interesting night here. March 9th, 2001.
Yeah.
This is a crazy night that we're going to talk about that kind of changed boxing in the area for a while, too. It changed some rules around. This was a big deal. March 9, 2001. It's at the Peels Palace
there it is.
in Erlanger, Kentucky. As we know, this is not a place that is set up for, a top-notch athletic event.
Yeah.
We'll just say as far as that goes. This is for a title,
okay.
A big title, one that we've all, Jimmy, you've as a child, you laid in bed at night when your mom told you to go to bed, and you were like, I can't, Mom, I can't sleep because I'm anticipating someday I am going to win the vacant Kentucky State heavyweight title, which that does not sound like something worth fighting for. But it is, apparently.
But in Kentucky, everybody's a heavyweight.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So to be the biggest one and the best one?
It's the truth.
Yeah.
It's a good point.
Lots of overalls.
Lots of overalls. Take your shirt off, pal. Put your overalls on, shirt off. That's right. There we go. Now you're looking like a real hillbilly. Now you're a hillbilly. That's what I'm talking. Be a hillbilly. Come on. That's right. Get all hillbilly.
Embrace your
Shit your pants. Shit your pants. Play with that animal. Be a hillbilly. Come on. Take your shirt off. Come on.
Because I'm a degenerate. When you said shit your pants, play with that animal, I saw them shitting in their pants and then reaching
making believe it's a bunny. So that was the Vince McMahon wanting everybody to put your... Vince McMahon had a hillbilly obsession where, and in the 80s especially, had Hillbilly Jim and like Cousin Luke and Uncle, and they all had him billed from Kentucky.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's why I'm saying that.
Where was Hacksaw Jim Duggan from?
He's from New York, Glens Falls, New York.
No, but I mean, is that what they billed him as?
Yeah, and that's where he's from too. That's his real name and
shit. He kind of looked a little hillbilly too. But
well, he's cross-eyed and he looks more inbred and from anywhere. He could be from anywhere. He looks like he came out of a cave and just started yelling and screaming. Let's talk about him with Sarah. That guy could just go into a grocery store and go, ho, and half the place will go, ho, what? Yeah, ho, they'll go back. They'll yell it back at him. It's fucking weird. Shit. So he fights here. Now, this is the best fighter he's ever fought here. This is a guy named Greg Page. Greg Page is a former heavyweight champion, like real heavyweight champion. Like he's a really good fighter.
Never heard of him.
No, because this was the time he was good was when Tyson and Holyfield and those guys were big in the early 90s. So
brutal.
You can't. Yeah, those guys were. And also back then there were so many good heavyweights. Even fucking Bo came around then. Razor Ruddock was a bad motherfucker. I mean, you look at a guy like a Razor Ruddock type, that guy would be the champion of the world, no problem nowadays. If there wasn't Riddick Bowe and Evander Holyfield and Mike Tyson to fucking go through. I mean, that's
Lennox Lewis.
Yeah, later on, Lennox Lewis coming up the ranks at that time too. So
there's a Brit that's a Jesus.
Man.
That's is that the only Brit that I know that boxes? I think so.
Well, no, there's Brits, but they're
that
not
I
good.
know.
Yeah.
That's
well, he was
sure the most famous.
He's so big too.
He was so good.
6'6", 240, and smooth.
So smart.
Just jab you away the whole time.
Everything he said sounded beautiful.
Lennox was such a patient fighter. He'd just be like, well, I'll just jab you for 12 if that's all you're going to let me do. Fine, let's keep you away from me. That's fine, no problem. Make a mistake, I'll knock you out. I'm a big guy. It's fine. Either way, I'll be very polite about it. It's going to be okay.
Eloquent and sweet.
Yes. Now, Greg Page coming into this fight is 58-16-1. So 58 wins, 16 losses. He's a real fighter. Problem is, at this point, he is 43 years old.
Okay.
He's done. I mean, this is
over.
He shouldn't really probably be fighting at this point.
For sure.
But this is like Evander Holyfield fighting. Yeah. Evander Holyfield's still trying to get boxing licenses.
I swear.
I think he had a fight last year. He's like 49, 50 years old. Yeah. He's still getting boxing licenses somehow and still applying for them and he can't even speak. Have you heard him speak in the last 10 years?
I don't think I've heard him speak really much.
He talked like he can't fucking talk anymore. No. He can't fucking talk anymore. I mean, he wasn't a very eloquent man to begin with. He always sounded a little punch drunk. Yeah. He's Southern too, so that's whatever. No offense, Southern, but you know,
you get it. You mush words together.
You're a little slower Southern. I can't tell. People have said that before to people. That's been a thought that's been crossed, and then you go, "Oh no, he's just Southern. It's fine." But Holyfield also has been beaten in the fucking head a lot.
Slow Southern or foreign? You know, like are you new to the language?
What's happening here? Now, Paige, a little bit about him, a little background to kind of tell you the kind of guy he is, and the fact that he's not some schlub from the fights in fucking bars and shit like that.
Yeah.
By the time he was 15 years old, he was a sparring partner of Muhammad Ali.
Holy shit!
Yeah, that's his lineage. That's how he came up. He learned boxing from Muhammad Ali.
But Muhammad Ali, how much of a dick is he that he's just beating up 15-year-olds?
Muhammad Ali, sparring partners would beat him up. That's how he did.
Oh, really?
That's how Ali. That's why Ali's such a fucking mess right now. No, it's not the only reason why he's Parkinson's, but he also. I meant, you know what I meant. Later on, he's a real mess. That's why he's dead, Jimmy.
Jimmy, 15-year-old.
That's why he died. When you spar with a 15-year-old, it kills you. It's like a curse, like in a horror movie.
That's hilarious.
It's a leprechaun will come out, or you'll die. One of the two. So he's sparring with them. This is when he's 15 in the 70s. He's when Ali was king shit. I mean, this is when
he was probably in his 30s, right? Muhammad Ali.
Yeah, this was at the end of his career. He was but this kid was 15, learning boxing from Muhammad Ali. So I mean, right away, he must have had some talent for Ali to go, I want this kid in here with me, or his people, or whatever. He then also fought a 3-round exhibition with Muhammad Ali a couple years later when Ali was 35 in front of 1,200 people in a high school gym in Louisville, Kentucky.
That's awesome.
This is a 3-round exhibition. It was against his sparring partner. So it was just, it was Ali's kind of way to put on a show for the people and to give this kid a thrill and to have all his family and friends let him come see Muhammad Ali fight him. That's kind of cool. So Paige won the National Golden Gloves Championship 3 years later.
Yeah.
So I mean, this is no joke. I mean, he wasn't in it. He won it. He's no shit. He then won the USBA and WBA heavyweight championships by the time he was 25 years old.
Christ.
So he ended up, he made about $3 million in his career too. Was doing very well. August 1993, he's knocked out by Bruce Seldon, who was a big fighter in the 80s, and he was kind of a half-assed heavyweight. Another guy might have been a better heavyweight. Like nowadays, probably could be a really good heavyweight. No, not now because he's 50, but if he was young, if he could Back to the Future himself into now, he'd probably be good. But coming up in the late 80s and 90s, unless you were beating Mike Tyson, you're fucked, basically. And not a lot of people were doing that, as we remember. So he gets knocked out by Bruce Seldon, Greg Page does, in August of 93 for the IBF Intercontinental title, and then doesn't fight for 3 years after that. Takes 3, they fucked him up mentally.
Well, I'm sure.
And he didn't want to do it anymore, and that's weird. It just made him just not want to do it. He said he didn't want to train. He just didn't fucking have any interest in it anymore, and then made a comeback in 1996. And he's got a name and he's a good fighter, so people will still hire him, but he's getting old and he's becoming just kind of a journeyman for younger guys to try to prove themselves against.
That's where he is now.
That's where he is now in what an article calls, quote, a makeshift ring at Peel's Palace, a bar and social club in Erlanger, Kentucky. He's fighting Dale Crowe, who the article calls a, quote, bald, chiseled, heavily tattooed 24-year-old. That's the thing. Dale's only 24.
Yeah, he is young.
He's a young guy, and he's got so many fights under his belt, and a lot of blows to the head by 24. This fight is for $1,500. This is a man who had made over $3 million in his career.
And he is
was a champion of the world, won Golden Gloves, fought Muhammad Ali, and was trained, the whole deal. Now he's fighting in a bar for $1,500.
Muhammad Ali was in my life.
Yeah, it was. I've taken a punch from him.
Yeah.
I've socked Muhammad Ali in the face. How many people can say that?
I've had many conversations with that man
He's
about
taught me
this
things.
sport.
He's taught me how to do shit. This is for the, like we said, Kentucky state heavyweight title he's fighting for. Not exactly the most prestigious belt on the face of the earth. $1,500 though, man. Also, Greg, they they told Greg that he will get a nationally televised fight in Louisville if he wins this, is what he said here. But the thing is, Greg, you'd think the $1,500 wouldn't be the main motivator, but he said that's why he fought. He needed the money.
Yeah.
He said, and we'll find out. He said at that point he needed the money. He said, that being an ex-millionaire didn't do anything for him. He said he let his family take a stab at running things financially for him and lost every dime he had.
God damn it.
Because, people who don't know how to manage your money, you shouldn't let manage your fucking money.
It's also people that didn't earn that with you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That don't know how hard that was to do. Like, they just see it show up in the bank.
Wow. Look at that.
Look at there.
That's
there
impressive.
It is.
Yeah.
Let's go play with that.
Also, too, they don't know how to manage money because they don't fucking have any, and that's not their profession either. There's people who do that shit for a living, and sometimes they rip you off, and you're paying them to do it, and then still they know what they're doing. So your family's really going to fuck you over.
To make a goddamn dollar and to squander it after how hard
to get your head beat in 75 times.
Holy
you're like,
shit.
You blew all that. You know how many fucking brain cells they lost for that money? It's not like you could go make that again. It's not like it's the stock market where you're like, well, I'll just go hope I get lucky again. Like, that's all I had. I have no more fighting left in me. He said when he started his life over, he got a new wife. At this point, he had gotten a divorce, Greg Page, and met somebody else.
And that cost him more fucking money.
Yep, that's why he was also hurting.
God
he said,
damn it.
He says that when he started his life over with, he had nothing but his wife and his kids there, and he said that his devout faith and that everything would be all right. He thought he could just do it. This fight, though, by the way, goes to the 10th round. This is the 418th round of his career, Greg Page. So that's a lot of rounds. 76 pro fights. It's a lot. What ends up happening here, this is the last few seconds of the 10th round. Dale pushes Greg backwards, kind of into the rope. Greg stumbles to the ropes, and the ropes, by the way, are not like real tight to bounce off of. They're just kind of dangling there like a 70s wrestling match. And we'll let Dale say what happened here. Dale says, quote, "I seen his head snap and he fell on me instead of backwards," which is a weird thing. He says he slumped down with his bottom resting on one of the lower ropes. He made a motion as if to get back up, then slumped down as the referee counted him out. That's what Dale says. And then at that point, it's fucking chaos in the ring. It's chaos at this point. Dale's corner celebrates. They're all going crazy. And this is not like we said, there's no procedures here. It's a fucking ring, and there's people around it, and everybody's celebrating. There's no lanes and shit like that. Greg's corner is trying to figure out what's going on with Greg and make sure he's okay. Dale's getting the belt. They're taking pictures of him. Everybody's celebrating in there. At that point, the corner figures out that Greg can't breathe.
He's dead.
He's not dead, but he's having a hard time breathing. He's assisted. They assist him into a better position so he can breathe.
Open his airway.
And they're calling out for the ringside doctor, and they can't get anybody there to help him because there's
smoke break.
There's no doctor around. Nobody can get to the ring because everybody's crammed around it. There's no not adequate security. This is a fucking mess. What ends up happening, the doctor ends up coming and really doesn't do much for him. And by the time anybody figures out that he might need an ambulance, it's about 20 minutes.
Oh, Jesus.
20 minutes. It ends up being 22 minutes for an ambulance to get there. 22 minutes. You're in a fucking boxing ring. They should be on you like that. Second you hit that fucking canvas and somebody says, "Hey, come here," there should be, everybody should clear out. This is why you need to have like systems in place to have you can't just have a boxing match in your yard.
That's dangerous. There's no doctor around?
Someone can fucking get hurt. Well, they have a doctor, but we'll talk about what happened here. This is ridiculous, man. Because of all the time that elapsed here, Greg was in respiratory arrest by the time he's loaded into the ambulance. It was 22 minutes, man. Page ends up being in a coma by the time he gets to the hospital and suffering significant brain damage from this. He's transferred to a St. Luke's hospital in Florence, where it's decided that his brain is bleeding and he needs emergency surgery. So he's taken to a trauma hospital over in Cincinnati.
Oh, my God.
And it wasn't until 3.5 hours after he was initially in need of help that he's finally getting the surgery. They like jerked off from this place to that. 22 minutes here, then they take him here, look at him, and they go, well, this boy needs surgery. We better get him somewhere else.
4 hours of brain hemorrhaging.
It's unbelievable. He had a palm-sized section of his skull removed so that swelling could be accommodated. That's how bad this is. He lost several units of blood, suffered a massive stroke between several because several branches of his brain were clotted up. The right side of his brain was virtually destroyed by this. He was put on life support, and his family is notified that he might not make it through the night. He survives the night somehow. He's a tough son of a bitch, this Greg. I mean, that's the only thing you can attribute it to. This is crazy. This is for $1,500, man. Like
all that for $1,500,
and he needed the money. That's why he did it. That's the thing. If it was like, a young guy going for opportunity and he was blindly entering into it, this guy knew this wasn't a good. He's fought 75 times, man. He knew when he walked into that place, this is not fucking right. But
uncomfortable.
I got to get through this. I got to get that $1,500. Maybe I get on TV, get a better payday. I don't fucking know. But this is terrible here.
Oh, boy.
It's fucking wild. The next few weeks, he'd have a bunch of additional surgeries to help him breathe and ingest food. That's how much he's hurt. He spent 4 weeks in the hospital in Ohio, and then once he was medically stable enough, they transfer him back to Louisville. He spends another 3 months in a rehab institute, the Fraser Rehab Institute, where this guy tries to regain anything here. He has to learn how to sit up, brush his teeth, comb his hair, how to eat. He has to learn how to be a person again.
Unbelievable.
Literally, he has to start from scratch to learn how to physically do things again, like a baby, basically. Lucky he didn't have SIDS.
Yeah, he damn near had the SADS.
Almost had the SADS. This is... Now, when we go into this and we look a little deep into what the fuck happened and how is this allowed, the athletic commission, who is politically appointed, these are just your buddy gets elected something and he can appoint whoever he wants. He's like, hey, Bob and Jim, you're on the athletic commission. They don't know dick all about fucking what regulations should be in place for fucking boxing matches. And then this horse shit happens. Unbelievable here. The commission was led by a guy named Jack Kearns. They put up $800 to stage this event. $800.
That was
that's what this cost to put up. That's not enough.
No,
it's not at all.
A ring costs a lot more than $800, doesn't it?
The ring, you need doctors, you need a lot, you need security, you need ropes, you need all that type of shit. The promoter had no insurance to cover Greg in case of injury.
None.
He had no insurance for these fucking people. He had people fighting under his banner to make him money and had no fucking insurance in case they got hurt. That's insane. That's
really
fucking
opening
insane.
yourself up to a big
That's
lawsuit.
what I mean. I've made independent films that's fucking insured in case somebody gets hurt. I don't care. And we're not even doing anything where someone's going to get hurt. But if you trip over a fucking sandbag that's on a C-stand and crack your head open, I'm not losing my fucking, everything I have because of it. So that's what it is. So, it's fucking no insurance. There was no stretcher at ringside. No. They had no preparations in case something happened. There wasn't even oxygen available or a readily available ambulance. Nothing.
Wow.
Nothing. The EMTs at the local fire department weren't even aware the fight was going on. They didn't even say, hey, by the way, guys, be on call because we have a fight, so in case anything happens, be ready to fucking haul ass over here. They didn't even know. They were being called, hey, there's a guy down. What happened? Oh, he's in a boxing match. What do you mean a boxing?
This isn't like featherweights. Like
that's what I mean.
Throwing
These are heavyweights.
Blasting each other.
A 225-pound tattooed steroid fucking using man fighting a 43-year-old man
of an old man.
This is not fucking okay here. So they weren't prepared or able to anticipate the need for otherwise they said they could have had shit prepared for something like this. That they know contingencies of boxing. They know
we'll have a bottle of oxygen.
It could be a head injury, and they would know how they'd know what to have ready in the ambulance just in case. Basically, the ringside physician is a guy named Dr. Manuel Mediodia, which should be Mediocria. This motherfucker. This guy here, unbelievable. He does not have a license to practice in Kentucky.
What? That's not a doctor.
He's not a licensed doctor in the state you're in. And
unbelievable.
And not only that, he carried no medical malpractice insurance. So he's not licensed there. He's just a guy who's like, I know a guy who knows fucking, I got a sawbones. He's like a mob doctor. I got a guy, we can go in his basement. He'll pull the bullet out. He won't tell anybody. What the fuck is this?
It's the equivalent of having a goddamn guy from another country that's licensed there.
No, he was a doctor in Romania. He's cool. No, he drives a cab here, but he's a doctor in Romania. He knew what he was doing. Trust me. He was a podiatrist, but he can fucking worry about this guy's brain hemorrhage.
He's a veterinarian.
I mean, shit, you got to know more a lot to be a veterinarian. Like Kramer said on Seinfeld, you got to be able to cure a chicken, a fish, a pig, a turtle all in the same day.
That's a damn good point.
Yeah, Kramer would only go to a vet at one point. They got to be able to cure it all. They got to know more.
That guy knows a lot.
This guy told investigators that he felt that this is after all this happened. This fucking idiot who has the word doctor in front of his fucking name. I'm going to call myself Dr. James Petrogallo from now on.
War hero.
Dr. James Petrogallo, war hero here. Just here to tell you about medical shit that I don't know anything about. Beware of SIDS. Apparently it's real, or it's just shit that women said in the 60s because they wanted to smother their kids because they were depressed, or men that were drunk and angry at their family, and they'd say, I don't know, my wife left me and the kid has SIDS. I don't know what to tell you. So this is fucking crazy. This asshole told investigators that he felt that Greg Page was, quote, probably just exhausted. Just exhausted.
From getting his fucking head bashed
as he was in a coma.
Right.
He was in a coma in the ring.
You know, his eyes are closed. He's not responsive. Yeah. He seems sleepy to me.
And he told them, I figured that. This fucking guy didn't even stay with Greg until the ambulance arrived.
What?
He left a comatose man in the fucking ring.
In the parking lot.
A doctor. Yeah. A fucking, quote, doctor left a man in a coma with no medical assistance and said, well, I'm late for a thing. They'll be here soon. You don't need me anymore. I'll take off.
In his defense, I mean, I'm not licensed here. I hear sirens. He can be all right.
That's the thing.
There's people coming that'll help him.
Exactly. That's exactly where I was going with that. He was basically like, well, oh boy, it's getting kind of late here. If anybody asked if there's a doctor, there isn't any. Okay, bye. And he took off in a car, screeching, fucking peeling out of the parking lot.
Asks if there's a doctor, there isn't any, and that's not lying. Not even close.
Not even
because
close.
I'm not one.
He didn't. Can you imagine the fucking lack of every kind of medical ethic there is to fucking leave him? Not only, dude, if there's a car accident, you're supposed to pull over if you're a medical professional just to see if you can help. If you're this guy, you were assigned.
Right.
This is your job.
You were hired for
and
this.
You didn't even stick with it. He got paid $200 for it.
Well,
so
he got a quarter of
the fucking budget. Unreal. Unreal, man. Wow. So, this is a serious brain injury, obviously. His wife, Page's wife, says that, they're suing. They end up suing the state, obviously.
Everybody.
Over this, fucking everybody. Mainly the state athletic commission for not coming down hard on this whole thing and having a better
for allowing this.
There's a lot of people to sue.
Right? They had to be told it was happening.
There's a lot. There's a lot of people to sue here.
Yeah.
This is, they said it was all early medical. If they would have got to him early, they would have been able to help him a lot here.
How did this get through so many layers of people that have to be aware of this event, and they're just like, yep, crazy. It all looks right.
It's so crazy, man. His wife says, quote, I'm fighting years of tradition. I've contacted Congress stressing the need for stricter boxing safety laws and to make sure the laws are already there are enforced. They end up having a trial about this whole thing. They file a lawsuit against, like I said, Kentucky Athletic Commission, the ringside physician, the promoter, and others for alleged violations of 8 state and federal laws governing boxing. Page's lawyer contends that delays in treatment exacerbated the injuries, but a lawyer representing the Athletic Commission said, this is amazing. This is ballsy. Quote, I haven't seen any evidence to suggest his brain injury was caused in any way by negligent treatment at ringside.
Fuck you, dude.
Wow. What a fucking cocksucker.
Balls.
What a cocksucker.
22 minutes, dickface.
Wow.
That's
man.
too long.
The doctor left.
Oxygen?
The doctor fucking he wasn't licensed in that state and didn't carry malpractice insurance. End of story. Greg's short-term memory is severely impaired. Minutes after he does something, he doesn't remember doing it, goes to do it again, does that sort of thing. Has no memory of the fight or the weeks leading up to the fight. He just lost like a month of his life, basically. basically. His long-term memory before the fight's pretty much intact, but everything after it's a fucking mess. He's totally paralyzed on the left side of his body, moves between a wheelchair and a recliner and his bed because he can't fucking walk at all. His speech is slurred, especially when he's tired, and his medical bills, as you might imagine, are out of fucking control. He had to take 15 to 20 pills a day. Finally, when he got
that is dangerous too. Being that he does things, forgets he did it, and does it again.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He needs someone taking care of him big time. He needs someone. He can't
do it himself.
No, he needs someone caring for him. His wife says that after his final discharge from the rehab center, they said they took him home and went to the local drugstore with about $130 to get him medicine. They didn't have insurance. They told his wife all his medications would be about $1,100, to which they just didn't have the money to get him the medications.
How about you guys take this?
That's what I mean. Okay. Nope. Sorry.
We got 130.
That's about 10%. So good luck. Eventually, though, and we'll talk about it later, he ends up winning $1.2 million from the state.
Good. But that's not enough still.
Unreal. No, it's not. Now, for Dale, that's a knockout in the 10th round. He's 22-4.
And a vicious
one. It counts, I guess.
He
but
damn near killed a man.
Yeah, he absolutely did. He says, Dale says his love for boxing completely disappeared at this point. This is when it was over. Mm-hmm. He coped with it by, he basically said he was guilty. He turned to drugs and violent outbursts because he's drugged up. Now he's on drugs and steroids, and he's angry and he feels horrible about himself. So he said he just turns into violent outbursts and turns into not a nice guy to be around at this point. He does get a tattoo of a boxing glove with the words Champion Greg Page on it on his arm. He feels very bad. He said, quote, after Greg, I started getting hit. I got scared, got a little gun shy, and I started wondering what was going on in my head. I was just done. Mm-hmm. So I would assume after you do that, if you're a human being, you might start thinking, well, why am I hitting people as hard as I can when I could fucking turn them into vegetables? It's just as a normal thought. I mean, you can't have that thought as a boxer. No. So if you have that thought in your head, your done. Killer instinct is done. There's a Outside the Lines done about this, and they interview him, and they interview everybody here. And Dale says about this, quote, there was the venue there was smoky. It was a dump. And I said to myself, why are we fighting here? He said there was no shame in fighting Greg Page. I mean, Page was a hell of a champion, and he was a hell of a fighter. You meet a lot of good guys. He said, Crowe said, quote, Dale said, quote, I knew if I lost, they were going to say that he just got beat by an old man. I just never forget that I had 10 seconds left. I just remember I just threw a straight left hand. I seen his head snap, and he fell on me instead of falling backwards. And as I tried to push him off for a little room to punch, as you know, that's when he went down. So he was just fucked, basically. They interview the doctor here. This fucking Dr. Emanuel. They got a hold of him. Yeah. Dick Schaap or Jeremy Schaap here talked to him. This doctor says, quote, he looked okay. And then I remarked to my friends, looks like he's going to be all right. You're a hell of a doctor. You're going on TV saying there was a man in a coma, and I turned to everyone and goes, well, he looks fine. That's your fucking excuse? I'm completely incompetent. Fuck, man. So then
without any sort of CAT scan or X-ray,
nope.
He's like, looks good.
Looks fine. He's fine, everybody. Waves him off. All right, we're going out to dinner. Greg's wife, Paige's wife, Patricia, says, oh, yeah, great guy. Greg was lying in a coma, and he said he's fine. Yeah. So it's fucking crazy, man. He's Mediota, the doctor, said, quote, the most I thought was this guy might have had a concussion. Wow. Dale says, quote, I destroyed a guy's life, and I feel like a piece of crap. You know what I mean? I don't want to do this anymore. That was his thing on that. His fiance said that it wasn't his fault, tells Dale it's not his fault. It's not his fault. He says it could have happened to anybody. Dale says, quote, I had such low self-esteem about myself, and I hated myself so much I just wished I was dead. That was how he thought after that fight.
Well, I would too.
I would too. And drugs and violent outbursts he's got. But he's still fighting because he needs to make a living. July 27, 2001 at the Soaring Eagle Casino in Mount Pleasant, he fights Michael Moorer. Michael Moorer, I'm sure. He got knocked out by George Foreman when George Foreman made his comeback in the 90s and he was an old man. Yeah. Moorer beat the shit out of him for a whole fight, and then in the last round, fucking Foreman hit him with a 1-2 and knocked him out and won the heavyweight championship. Moorer, Michael Moorer. He's a former heavyweight champion.
Not the Bowling for Columbine guy.
No, not Michael Moorer. This Michael Moorer coming in is 41-2, and one of those losses was to fucking George Foreman for the world heavyweight title. So he's a really good fighter.
And Dale's going to fight him?
Dale's going to fight him, and this guy is 52-4-1 in his career total, but 41-2 coming into this fight. So he's a real. I've seen 10 fights of Michael Moorer. He's a really good fighter. This is a weird draw. It only goes 5, and there's some sort of medical thing, and they stop it. I don't know exactly what happened, but it goes 5 rounds, and it turns out to be a draw. They call it a draw after 5 rounds. It's a 22-4-1 for him now. So that was his big chance.
Who was the victim of the medical thing?
I don't know what it was. There was some sort of, I don't know if it was like a knee injury or it wasn't a fighting injury. It was one of those type of things.
Somebody had turf toe or something.
Somebody had something and they had to call it off and they called it a draw. October 13th, 2001 at Caesars Tahoe in State Line. Oh boy, over there.
In State Line?
State Line, California, Nevada there.
Oh, okay.
That State Line.
Gotcha.
He fights Talmadge Two Guns Griffiths, which is a
fucking Mormon?
Talmadge Two Guns Griffiths. He's a black guy.
Is he?
He might be a Mormon. I don't fucking know.
Talmadge is like that's a super Mormon fucking
Talmadge. I think it's an old biblical name. It sounds like.
Yeah.
20. He's 20 wins, 1 loss, and 2 draws coming in. Ends up 24-8-3 for his career. This goes all 10 rounds, and it's a draw.
What?
So
2 draws in a row.
2 draws, 22-4-2. This brings us to January 12, 2002, at the Flamingo Hotel in Laughlin, shithole of God. Laughlин's
awful. Not even the Flamingo in Vegas.
Nope, Laughlin. Fuck.
Bad Vegas.
Bad Vegas. He fights Talmadge again.
Oh my God.
Again, this time it goes all 10 again.
Good grief.
This time, though, they have a decision, and it's Talmadge. Dale loses, bringing him to 22-5-2. May 25th, 2002, at the Hilton Hotel, he fights DeVarrell Touch of Sleep Williamson.
Touch of Sleep.
I don't know. He's 15-1 coming in, so he's touching people to sleep.
Yeah.
He's 27-8 in the end for himself as a career. This is a TKO in round 3. Dale loses. So he got put to sleep. Yeah. There's a touch of sleep right there. It's the first time I've seen Dale get knocked out.
Yeah.
But TKO, he didn't get knocked out. It got stopped. Yeah. That's 22-6-2. So now his record's not sounding so impressive anymore.
And those 3 in a row are bad fights.
They're bad fights. He's fighting good fighters and not fighting them well.
Right.
August 1st, 2002, I found this I had to dig deep for. I found a bankruptcy filing for him. Dale files Chapter 7 bankruptcy, which I looked up, and that's when you have a lot of creditors, and it allows you to kind of get out of a lot of your debt and keep a lot of your shit.
Really?
Basically, it's a Chapter 7. It's for individuals, and there's a lot of parameters into how you can claim it. I'm not a bankruptcy attorney.
It's the business
as I'm not a journalist.
For individuals.
Sort of, I guess. I'm not a...
Similar.
In addition to things that we're not. Journalists, doctors, lawyers, anything like that. Tax attorneys, definitely on that list, I will say here.
But that's what it sounds like. Because Chapter 11's kind of similar, where you keep your assets, but absolve yourself of debt.
It's
a Trump fucking chapter.
That's one of those.
Trump.
Yeah, Chapter Trump. Chapter fucking losing your shit. This would be poor Trump. This is Chapter poor Trump. That's August 1st, 2002. So he's got a lot going on right now. He's lost a bunch of fights in a row, and his head's not in him. We heard his fucking head is not in this. He fought Greg, and he said himself he was gun shy, and you can't be like that fighting guys who are 15-1 and fighting good fighters. You're
it's
gonna
like
get the shit beat out of you.
Being like, I'm not going to shoot against that plane because what if it crashes?
Or what if I can't go through there? What if I can't make it? Well, guess what? You're not going to make it now. It's one of those things. It's
him or you dipshit.
It's the walking on the board that we talked about. It's 25 feet on the floor or on the ceiling, but either way, it's the same board. But you're going to fall off up there because you're going to think about it. He's in his fucking head. So he's having a bad run, and he files bankruptcy too. So he's feeling like absolute dog shit. So now 10 days later, that was August 1st, 2002. August 10th, 2002. He at this point he's also in a lot of pain. He said from getting hit a lot. He's taking a lot of painkillers. Dale's taking pills. He's taking roids like a motherfucker. Very angry. He said he's getting in fights like out in bars and shit. Like anybody looking for fights and. Not a guy you want to fight in a bar. No. In the ring, if you're fucking 25-2, you might be able to beat him. But if you're in a bar, he's going to fuck you up. Yeah. Period. He's also using he's using steroids and pills for the pain and all that. And then for personal enjoyment, he's using cocaine and alcohol also. Yeah. So he's got a cocaine, alcohol, painkiller little cocktail going on, which is that's a nice one if you're just looking to get high here. And he's hanging out with a lifelong friend, a kid named Frank Lee Branham. This is he's known this guy all his life, from the same area. They grew up kind of together. Frank, from what I understand, they're so young, these people too. They're 25 years old or some shit, but they have like, Frank's, I think 23, and he's got some legal issues with it's all like all drug shit. He's like marijuana sales or possession or shit like that. Basically, Frank we'll talk about for a sec. He's the youngest of 3 kids. He's basically, he likes his dirt bikes and shit like that as a kid. As a kid, his parents got a divorce. So he would, saw his dad on the weekends and that sort of thing. He ended up having like a foster sister that they said he was very loving to and brought her in, didn't treat her like an outsider, didn't molest her either. They were the same age.
I was leaning there going, what?
Going on? Apparently, like, wasn't like jealous and like he get, why do they, this shawl should be mine. Like he wasn't shit like that. He was very nice kid. His family liked him, but he had problems, basically, that sort of thing. They always said even as he grew into an adult, he'd call his mom every day and shit like that. Like he's a decent kid. He's got a fiance by the time he's in his 20s. He's been going out with a girl since they were 12.
Oh my God!
They've been together since they were 12. A girl named Brandy, and they have wedding plans. She has a ring, and then she had bought the dress and the whole deal. Like they're going to get married and the whole deal. Frank also finished a year in prison earlier this year for marijuana possession. There's a felony count of bullshit. He's in Kentucky, and they banged him for a stupid weed charge. He's very close friends with Dale, though. And that night of August 10th, he left his house with Dale to go look at some floor tile. I don't understand why.
Dale tiling anything?
I don't know why. Who's tiling what or why, but apparently they're looking to tile. Apparently here, Frank never comes home that night. Is the problem. So his family looks for him for days. They don't know where the fuck he is. They call Dale because they know Dale. They've known him his whole life.
Hey, what do you guys went to go get tile yesterday?
Hey, have you seen him since there? Dale said he dropped Frank off at a Taco Bell the same night. He said we went and looked at tile, did some shit. He said drop me off the Taco Bell. I got other shit to do because I'm going over here. I said, all right, cool, have a good one. Cool. That was it. Yeah, have a good one. See you later. Police interview Crowe saying, have you seen him? Interview Dale, and Dale said, I have no fucking idea. No, I dropped him off at the Taco Bell. Let me know if you see him. He's my buddy, whatever. Everybody, they looked for him everywhere. No one could find him.
Oh, no.
Unlike Frank to disappear. Like I said, he calls his mom every day. Everybody, he's kind of reliable that way. He doesn't disappear for long periods of time,
especially for that year in prison.
Except for that year in prison. You knew where he was,
right.
At least. Problem is this time he's gone for 43 days. So there's starting to be a problem at this point. It's at this point on September 22nd, 2002, some skateboarders are behind a Sam's Club, and they look into a dumpster, and they find skeletal remains.
They've been in there.
He's been in a dumpster for 43 days.
The trash guy is lazy as shit around
Especially, this was from August to September. You know how fucking hot it is in Kentucky? That shit stunk. I get that Kentucky probably doesn't smell great anyway, but that's a corpse, man. Come on. When they found him, what was left of him only weighed 23 pounds.
Jesus
that's how much he had decomposed, which is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And the police couldn't give the family any information on any of this information because they didn't want to disclose the evidence they had because they were trying to find this out.
They said
Wow. Fucking unbelievable, man. They basically what ends up happening is Dale was out with Frank, and apparently Frank, from what Dale says later on, they got in an argument and Frank threatened to kill his son, which I don't know if this kid, from what I've seen, is going to take Dale, who's a tough son of a bitch, and be like, I'll kill your fucking son.
Yeah.
Probably not the smartest thing to do.
Or was it like, let's go to Taco Bell, I could use a chalupa.
Yeah.
Chalupas are disgusting. Get a gordita.
That's what I mean.
How dare you? I'll kill your fucking kid.
I'll kill your kid. Apparently, Dale lost it and started punching him.
Yeah.
And the way Dale says, he just kept punching him and punching him and punching him. Dale says, quote, one of the blows hit his throat. I repeatedly hit him and he couldn't breathe. I know I took it too far and I just couldn't stop. It's not an easy story to tell.
He beat a man to death.
He beat his lifelong friend to death, as a matter of fact.
None of those pillows on
None of that, nothing. Just with his fist, beat him till he's in his throat and beat him until he's fucking dead. Now, he's 23 years old, Frank Branham, and he's dead now, obviously, and he's gone. And by the way, what I just told you, that doesn't happen now. He doesn't say that now because he doesn't get caught for this shit right away. Let's let it go for a little while. He didn't tell anybody about it.
Yeah.
He didn't say shit. When Frank's body was found in the trash bin, he denied everything. The cops talked to him again. He said, "Oh my God, that's terrible. Wow, somebody must have. That's awful. You tell me the son of a bitch that did that to him, and I'll
beat their head in.
I'll fucking punch them in the throat until they fucking die. I'll give them the SIDS." Wow. So it's around this exact same time that Crowe's new trainer suggested that he meet with Page and his family, Greg Page, who he nearly killed in the ring, meet with them and try to clear this out of his head, basically. And he did. He ended up meeting with Greg Page, and apparently he said Greg Page's family welcomed him with open arms.
Oh, God.
He said seeing Page paralyzed and bedridden was hard on him. Greg said, quote, I walked in and I kind of teared up, is what Dale said about Greg. Quote, I walked in and I kind of teared up because I didn't realize how hard things were on Greg. He couldn't do anything from the neck down.
You know who else can't do anything?
Not at all. From the neck up, down, side, right, left, you name it.
From the scalp down, he's a mess.
Pretty much scalp to toe. He's pretty fucked here. They become super close.
What?
Greg and Dale. He calls his wife Mama Page all the time. Patricia Page says about Dale, quote, he's a wonderful kid and he has a great heart. My family loves him. My kids love him. She said, Greg said, Dale, look, we both went into the ring to do a job that night. It could have just as easily been you that got hurt. He said, God has a purpose for all that is happening, which he takes a good approach to because it's not Dale's fault that he got hurt. I mean, that could, if he hit Dale enough and then it wasn't Dale's fault. There was no medical attention. Right. That was the problem there. A fight's a fight. I mean, he just fought the guy. He didn't try to kill him. He didn't want to hurt him. He tried to kill Frank, but he didn't try to kill Greg. Yeah. He says, quote, I felt guilty. It felt like I took a person's life from him. He said that, by the way, publicly in a newspaper article less than a month after Frank's body had been found.
Oh, my God.
So less than 2 months after he killed a close friend of his, he said, I felt like I took a person's life from him. I can't do that. I feel terrible about myself.
Wow.
So, wow. Still boxing, by the way.
Unbelievable.
October 19th, 2002. Less than 2 months after he killed a man, Arenas Boxing Gym in St. Pete, Florida, fights Tyrone Meux, I don't know, M-U-E-X. I'm going to call him Mew.
Yeah, sounds French.
Sure.
Mo.
Colbert.
Could be Mo.
Mo. Great. 8-14-3 coming in, 10-27-4 for his career. Dale knocks him out in the first round.
Wow.
First round TKO. A little murder, get your mojo back. And
get you going.
Meet you with Greg Page. It cleared his head and murdering his friend.
Do you think meeting with Greg was his absolving himself of murder?
Yes.
That's exactly what he did, right?
Absolutely. I feel like in his mind, the murder was a part of that.
Yeah.
That was all lumped into one thing.
So he just I mean, he repented, and now
he feels like
now he's good.
Back to
I'm
good
one. Now. This is the grossest.
Good.
I'm good now.
This is
ever.
the worst. I'm good now ever. I've killed a man, and I've absolved myself of the guilt of almost killing another. I'm good now.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. He's back at the casino here, fighting Bradley 1, 735-3 coming in, 743-3 career. So
one
the
W-O-N?
one like the number. number.
O-N-E.
O-N-E.
Okay.
He wins by unanimous decision, Dale does, so he's 24-6-2. Look at that. Now, December 2002 is where we talk about Greg again quick. Greg Page, at that point, is broke, has medical bills that exceed over $300,000. His friends had an auction for him and shit, but he didn't raise at all. Dale Crowe went to the gym. He fought a benefit thing for like an exhibition benefit for Greg. He said, Crowe says, quote, "Here Greg is paralyzed. I can raise enough attention for him. I can get some donations to help him and his family. I don't fight unless Greg is in my corner." What the you killed a guy like fucking 6 months ago. What about that family? Crowe says, "For those who don't know, I'm doing this fight for Greg Page, my buddy here. I was ready to quit boxing 4 months ago, and his friendship to me has given me more than money can buy. So I'm donating this to him, and I'm just asking friends, family, and whoever on your way out, any contributions to Greg would be greatly appreciated. I'll put on a good show for you guys." That's what he said.
Heart.
What a big heart. There's a dead man that no one's talking about.
Unbelievable.
He fights now. This isn't a benefit here. March 7th, 2003, City Center Pavilion in Reno for the WBC Youth World Heavyweight title.
Why is he fighting in kids?
I have no idea. He's not a youth. I don't know if this is just under 30 or what here. He fights a good fighter here, Samuel the Nigerian Nightmare Peter.
You can't do that.
No, you can't. You're not Christian Okoye.
No.
I'm sorry.
You
absolutely
never do that.
No, he's a famous fighter, this guy, but he's not more famous than number 35 on the Chiefs. Sorry, motherfucker. No, with those big shoulder pads coming at you. This guy
was like 7 feet wide.
Oh, he was amazing. This guy's 12-0 coming in. So now Dale's the journeyman fighting the up and comer. This guy's 36-6 for his career, and he knocks Dale out in 4 rounds. So it's a TKO in 4. He's a good fighter.
He's a nightmare.
And he's a nightmare.
Just call yourself the Nightmare.
The Nightmare.
That's fine.
He's from Nigeria, but whatever.
I don't
Still,
care.
you find something else. The Nigerian something. I don't know. Fucking
night man.
Night guy.
Just something else. You don't get to take somebody that was so prolific at their position.
Fuck no.
He was an athlete too.
He was goddamn great too. So he's 24-7-2. Dale is. June 20th, 2003, at the Roxy Theater in Atlanta. He fights Ramon the Panther Hayes.
That's
it's a pretty fucking cool name. Although he's 9-16-1 coming in. You can't have if you're under 500, you can't have a nickname. I'm sorry.
Your nickname's much cooler than your record.
Yeah, and he holds that percentage out for his career because he ends up 15-32-1. So he just kind of doubles it up.
He's
there.
Consistent.
Dale loses a unanimous decision to this guy in 8 rounds. So now he's 24-8-2. Not going well. It's getting worse. May 1st, 2004, at the Marriott downtown in Greensboro, South Carolina. Yike. Fighting Casey. Casey is his name. Casey, except with a fucking N before the Y. No idea. Casey Treesdale, whose nickname is KC. I guess Casey, but you're Casey and there's no K or fuck you. Okay. Never mind. Fucking stupid.
Just change your name legally to Casey Treesdale.
That's it.
And Treesdale's a shit name.
Fuck yeah, it is. This guy's 9-51-2 coming in.
Exactly what I expect from a Casey.
Doesn't matter, Casey. Dale knocks him out in 3 rounds to TKO. 25-8-2 for Dale. Next fight again at the Marriott downtown in July of 2004. Just a couple of months later. Here he fights Keith Ross, who is 0-9 coming in. For his career, he's 0-11.
Yeah.
It's always 11. They're like 10. I don't know. Give it one more shot. No, more than 10. I've lost more than 10 in a row. This is a first round knockout. 26-8-2. Now, January 8th, 2005, at the venue in Greensboro, he fights Cornelius Ellis, who sounds like a 75-year-old man.
Yeah.
He's
blues
guitarist. Yeah. He's 7-9 coming in, so not a great fighter. And this goes all 6 and turns out to be a draw. So 26-8-3 for Dale. April 29th, 2005, in New Zealand, he fights Shane Weejon, who's 6-10 coming in again. He wins a decision in 6. Dale does. So he's 27-8-3 with 17 knockouts, and that is the last fight of his career. Because on February 18th, 2006, a witness comes forward forward with information that Dale had told them that only the murderer knew. Apparently, Dale got drunk one night in a bar and started talking to his buddy about guilt and this and that, and I fucking killed a guy, and I don't know if he thought, well, that was 3 years ago, so that 4 years ago, that might as well be,
statute of limitations is
that's clearly over.
Yeah.
Well, nope, he ended up getting, this person ended up reporting this to the police, and it was information that the way he died, shit that they didn't release, that only this guy could possibly know.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it wasn't like the papers knew what happened to him. He was 23 pounds of skeleton at that point.
What town was this in?
This was in Kentucky. Is in Kentucky.
How fucked is that police force that they can't figure out cause of death or
Well, they can. They just wouldn't release it to the public. That was the thing. They wouldn't release anything.
So they were just sitting on it waiting for the guy to just talk?
They were waiting because they didn't want people coming. They didn't want false information. They always hide a bunch of the cops always hide a few details on purpose.
I'm bummed that it took them to a confession to get a break in this.
They even give press alternate details to see if someone comes and tries to say that, they know they're full of shit. That's the way they do it.
That family is so lucky to have any kind of closure just based on 43 days of him being missing, and luckily
somebody
that trash can wasn't empty.
Yeah, luckily they were the shitty fucking company, shitty sanitation company, and then on top of that, this guy got drunk enough to finally tell somebody about it in years, and then this person had the human whatever to turn him in. Now he's outside the Hamilton County Courthouse. Dale had a misdemeanor something for some shit that I can't find, but he had a misdemeanor charge, and basically he comes out of the courthouse and gets arrested for murder. He's indicted for murder of Frank Branham. He faces charges of aggravated murder, and aggravated robbery also, because he said he stole shit from him. It's not terrific here. The relatives here, Frank's relatives, the victim, said that they last saw him with Crowe, obviously here. Her sister, his sister said that they were always good friends and he doesn't understand it. Crowe is being held on a $1.6 million bond here.
He doesn't have that.
He most certainly doesn't fucking have that. The Crowe's Carr, who is Branham's sister, said, quote, "I was so happy I was about to explode," which is fucking crazy. So now he's stuck in jail. 1.6 million. He ain't going fucking nowhere. The weird thing is, though, it's fucking Kentucky, which is the prison system there is a little bit different. And while he's in jail, he has a lot of problems with like the jail itself is fucked up. Like there's the infrastructure problems, right? So there's one time he's sitting there. It's really bad. His toilet's really clogged up. And he said, someone's coming to fix it, and a guy knocks on his door, and it's Paul Calhoun, shit pipe enthusiast. And he says,
I'm so impressed with how we got here.
How is it you come to arrive here, guy? I don't fucking understand it. You know what I mean? Look at it. Your shit pipes are clogged to shit. Your life pipes are so fucking clogged right now. I don't got a snake long enough. I can't even jam it in here. I want to clean your shit pipes and smack your wife. I really want to. First of all, you're divorced, so I can't do that. I got nothing here for you. You're killing your friends. I don't know what the fuck's going on here. Honestly, I'd rather you live in backed up shit. Impacted shit is a better state of affairs for you. And for me to say that, that's something because I am an enthusiastic person when it comes to shit. I'll blow that shit right out of there. I take it as a personal challenge, kind of like a boxing match or a friend that you want to leave in a dumpster, apparently in your case. I don't really fucking like you. You know what? You live with your shit, guy. How's that? Fuck you. Have a good one. Poof. And in a puff of shit and pipes, he's gone, and Dale's taking swings at the air. He doesn't understand what's happening.
Paul, you think you're impressed and dumbfounded with how we got here. I am just impressed how you got here. James ran a mile to bring you here today. That was pretty impressive.
I had to work that one hard. That was a tough one. I had to really get.
You think you're
had to make a right turn.
Away of how this guy got in jail.
I had to, man. Things happen. So they tell Dale of the evidence they have against him. They have a pretty fucking strong case because all the shit he told that guy is all the details of the case. So the witness. So he's pretty fucked. And they convince him to take a plea.
Really?
He takes a plea for 20 years, and we'll talk about, well, that's his deal at first, and then he's got to be formally sentenced, though. He says, quote, I tapped out. Done. He's like, I was done. I was fucked. He's charged with aggravated murder and aggravated robbery. And they give him a, you, sir, may fuck off, certainly. 9 years for manslaughter, 5 years for robbery, and 6 years for extortion. Apparently, he was extorting people for money over the phone while in jail.
What?
While in jail for murder, he was using the fucking jail phone to try to extort money out of people.
Unbelievable.
To try to make bail or do whatever or have a better time in jail, or I don't know what the fuck he was doing. So that was an extra 6 years. So he got 14 for the actual killing and then 6 more for phone extortion in jail. Altogether, 20 straight years in jail, and he has to do all 20.
That's great.
He's doing 20, goes to the Warren Correctional Facility. 2008, marries a woman named Holly in prison. Somebody fucking can't, just they love him.
Unbelievable.
She says, quote, this fight, this tragedy that happened because of that boxing match, it tore my husband's whole life completely up. I don't think he'd be sitting here where he is now if that night hadn't occurred. Maybe not.
Maybe.
Still can't kill people.
Right.
Yeah, he went on a bad run. Roids, drugs, depression, bankruptcy, killing, met Greg, came out of it, but you can't kill people. Right. Everything else is fine, minus the killing. We'll forgive anything else.
Unbelievable.
He ends up.
He's out there advocating for Greg and trying to help him. After he had killed a man.
After he had killed a man.
That is so funny.
And I just felt so guilty that I hurt this person.
And now he's in prison.
Another guy.
Eating a lot of crow, James.
Eating some crow. Got that right. I'm not even mad at you for that one because he deserved it. He's inmate number 519303 at the Warren Correctional Facility. Fucked up part is I found a link for the story's not over. One more second here, but I found a link for his pen pal inmate profile, but it had since been taken down. I bet his wife made him take it down. She's like, that's how you found me, motherfucker. He's scheduled to be released in 2026 here. In 2009, he says that prison saved his life. He says that it pulled him out of a seedy boxing scene, got him off drugs, and he said that he started writing letters to the people he wronged, including Branham's family. He is the most I'm good now in his fucking head that I don't believe him at all.
Not at all.
He says, quote, I really think if this hadn't happened, me coming to prison, I'd be dead of an overdose or somebody doing something to me, or he'd kill many more people. Right. He says that he has a sense of peace about his turbulent life. He speaks lovingly about his wife, and he loves the Page family. He said he's determined to show his son Mason that you can turn around a bad situation. He says, what do you say? Let's give him an in their own words about his fucking his wisdom that he's found through prison, and then let's see how he tries to dispense that wisdom. He says, in their own words, quote, all that experience you get, the more drama you go through, it's just like eventually you learn to slip punches. You absorb some of the pain. Your defense becomes pretty good to all of the negativity around you.
He's going to try to get on a speaking circuit.
That's what In Their Own Words was made for. That self-serving horse shit right there.
Guy.
April 27th, 2009, Greg Page dies.
Oh, great. Fantastic.
So there's two.
I was just about to say how much.
Bastard.
Oh, wait, no, not Greg. No, Greg.
Dale. Greg is, no.
Oh, no.
I was like, I'll let you
Jimmy,
celebrate
stop
for a minute.
celebrating. Calm down. The wrong guy yourself.
Wrong guy died.
No.
Poor Greg Page dies. His death was consistent with positional asphyxia, an inability to breathe because of body position.
What?
He couldn't.
That's adult SIDS.
Yeah, it's. Jimmy, why do you think I brought SIDS up? Fuck you take me
he
for. He
got the SADS.
Yeah, he said, the doctor said, quote, he had a hospital bed at home and he slid out, which he had done before. His head was lodged between the rail and the bed, and he couldn't breathe, and he died. And he couldn't get himself out of it because he was paralyzed.
Like, oh, Jesus.
This poor fucking man.
Do you think he was alert and knew it?
Yeah.
Oh my God!
Or he might have been sleeping and done it. Then he probably would have woke up and couldn't recover, couldn't do anything, and couldn't breathe, and was probably scared shitless and fucking died by himself in a hospital bed. That's horrible. That's fucking terrible. I feel so bad for that guy, but not nearly as bad.
You are really doing a number today.
That surprise you.
No more shows unless we've done 3 shows in a week.
Unless we're exhausted. Then we get punchy. Not as bad as I feel for Dale Crowe, an ESL teacher, English as a second language teacher at Link Atreyu in Kazakhstan.
Oh, my God.
Dale Crowe, Chief Risk Officer, that's an appropriate title, at Commonwealth Bank and Trust Company in Louisville, Kentucky. So same area even.
Right there.
I'm not trusting him with shit.
No.
Dale Crowe, well, not that guy's fine, but just the name. PC&IS technician at Procter & Gamble in Lima, Ohio. So fucking same
right
state.
There.
And Dale Crowe, crane op at Cowboy Crane in Flagstaff, Arizona, oil and energy. He does heavy rigging and crane rigging and steel erection, and he's a fucking man, this guy. Does a bunch.
Responsible for 2 fucking lives being snuffed out.
That too. Education is listed as hard knocks.
Oh, Jesus. He's one of those guys?
Summary is over 30 years in the construction industry with a strong emphasis on crane and rigging and heavy lift operations.
He should pull that hard knocks right the fuck out of there, because that really leans you to that guy.
That leans. That's what I mean. It sounds like him. That's why I feel bad for him. Dale is scheduled to be released February 11th, 2026. On June 23rd, 2016, he released a book because we all need to hear from him. He's Mr. fucking, he's like a fucking yoga guy now almost. He's Mr. Everything peace and motivation. And it's called The Bully Within, A Journey of Consciousness. Okay,
more like
that's what he
murderer.
wrote. The Murderer Within. It's on Amazon. It's got 4 out of 5 stars with 23 customer reviews. Now, I wished it was on Kindle because I would have skimmed it a little bit, but I got a PDF of it. It doesn't matter. It's a piece of shit. 10 used from 2101, by the way, $21 in American, US dollars. Let's give you the synopsis, the breakdown. Quote, my name is Dale Crowe, and I want to introduce you to the bully within me, Dale Crowe, the boxer. A little more than 16 years ago, I was an up-and-coming cruiserweight boxer with a record of 15-0. I wasn't Mike Tyson, not even close, but many people around me believed that with serious commitment on my part, I could have been a genuine contender. Well, I failed. I didn't fail because I wasn't good enough, but because I believed I wasn't good enough. This is all motivational horseshit. Dale the boxer told me that I wasn't good enough. Also, other boxers like Michael Moore pounded your face in because they were better. He said that told me I wasn't good enough, and I believed him. Today, in addition to being called Dale Crowe, I'm also known as inmate 519303. But Dale Crowe doesn't have much to do with the terrible things I did or the fame I won. Nevertheless, this is my story.
He's exactly responsible. Did he just absolve himself?
He just absolved
washed
himself.
His hands of murdering a man.
Oh, absolutely. That's what this whole thing is about. Is like, that was me. Now I'm a new person. That guy's gone. So
no, he's
I'm
not.
Cool. Just high five me. I'm straight. Reviews here.
Yeah.
I found a couple here. One is a great review. Surprised how quickly I read this book because I simply couldn't put it down. You never know the struggles people live with inside. Kudos to Dale for being so open and revealing in this book. Highly recommended. And 4 people found it helpful on Amazon. That's one review. That's positive. And there's a lot of those. There's a few negatives too.
Oh, I like those better.
You're going to love this one the most. This is from his dad.
His own father.
His own father. Quote, this is 0 out of 5 stars. He rated his son's book.
Oh, boy.
The title of the review is, I love my son, but I wake up in the morning. That's what it says. And he bought it in the Kindle edition, too. He didn't even spend the extra couple bucks on paperback. He says, and I quote, this book is filled with half truth and half fiction. You see, I am the boy's father and have firsthand knowledge of the events involving my son and myself. This book is based more on self-pity than on truth and facts. I love my son, but I wake up in the morning. I'm not ashamed of what I see, and although I'm not a prince, I consider myself a man. My son needs to ask himself the same. By the way, the rest of this is in capital letters. The first part wasn't. He has come a long way during the difficult time, and I am very proud of him, to say the least. His actions are backed up with twisted encounters and made-up events, along with the author that wrote this book. Even the author of this book is living a lie as well as a fairy tale. I have done many wrongs in my life that I am not proud of, but I have spent 30 years of my life paying for it. Anything I say, I can back up in black and white to refute any allegations brought forth in this book of fiction! ! Fuck my kid. Murdering cocksucker.
By the way, buy my book at this link. I want his book.
I want his book.
Yeah.
Now, there's another one who doesn't know him, but I did love their review. It is 0 out of 5 stars. Title is Piece of Crap. And it says, my comments have been removed twice because they don't want you to know the truth about this man. He's a cold-blooded killer, plain and simple.
Yeah.
So he doesn't like him. So he releases another book. January 30th, 2017.
He's a published author twice.
Called Grab the Bull by the Horns, Meditations from Inside. It's called. It's a paperback is what I mean. This is one customer review, so it's not as much here.
Punch the friend in the throat.
Punch the friend in the throat. Brand new for $11.42. Might as well give a synopsis from him. Grab the Bull by the Horns is a series of my personal meditations from prison. While some of the meditations might seem simplistic to some and complex to others, I wanted to share with you a few of the beliefs and practices that have changed my life. Fuck you. He says, now that I have this knowledge of self, I will not stop until I reach the highest state of enlightenment. You killed a guy. You fucked it up. This is my birthright. That is your birthright. It is no small task to unwind 40 years of the conditioning that I am Dale Crowe. It was who my parents told me I was. It was what society made me believe that I was. It was what the world I had conditioned myself to see. But I am here to say that I was misinformed. I'm not simply this finite being who lives and one day will die. I am an expression of this one self, and every person with whom I come in contact with is an expression of that same self. It all begins with our thoughts. If our thoughts are for revenge, we will only see revenge turned back on us somewhere down the road. We cannot kill hatred with hatred. It can only reappear some other place again and again until everything is gone, including you. He's been hitting the head a lot.
And Dale Crowe has read The Secret.
Fuck. Yeah, it's just like some Buddhist shit he's talking about here. He just talked about karma for 2 seconds, some fucking Hindu shit now, too. Can't get enough? Go ahead and buy his books if you really want to fucking bang your head against the wall.
Full of this asshole.
Yeah, fuck him. Also, he's on Twitter.
Oh, boy.
He's on Twitter. Dale Crowe. It's at Never a Dale Crowe. Never
Always
a Dale Crowe. And it says, The Enlightenment of Former Up-and-Coming Cruiserweight Boxer Dale Crowe. That's his title on Twitter. He has 4 tweets, which are one that just says text. One that says you can get the Kindle version here with an Amazon link to it that is no longer active because there's no longer a Kindle version, and one announcing the sale of his book being available, and then the 4th tweet is not here. And he has 105. He's following 141 people. He has 20 followers. So
crushing it, Dale.
Crushing it, Dale. And that is Dale Crowe. Fuck. That's a weird story. Like
that is unbelievable.
What a weird fucking story, right?
That's our best story.
It's one of the,
that is an amazing story.
It's one of the weirder goddamn stories we've ever come across.
It's scummy. It's vile.
It's a lot of it's what we're about.
Zero. What's the word?
Compassion. Zero. He's just not taking any.
That's what it is.
He's not taking any responsibility.
That's
for
what
it
is. He's ducking all responsibility.
He's just going. That happened.
Accountability.
Accountability. He said that happened in a dark period, and then I came out of it, and I'm fine now. So that's just all then, and I don't I can't hear you. That happened then, and this is now, and I'm just gonna act like everything's fine.
He's gonna do 20 years, get out, and he's gonna do a speaking circuit, and it's just gonna be all cliche, hacky horse shit,
and someone's gonna pay him for it, and they're gonna go, he spent years in prison, doesn't he seem so well adjusted now? He was a killer. Can you believe that?
He still is. You motherfuckers.
They're gonna have him talk to young boxers, and they're gonna do all that shit and act like he's some kind of fucking hero. Fuck that guy. Fuck him. Dale Crowe. If you enjoyed that show and hated Dale Crowe like we do, you can tell us about that. Get on iTunes, Apple Podcasts, whatever the hell it is there. The purple icon. Tell us what you think. Give us 5 stars. Tell us you're following instructions, following directions. Go to shutupandgivememurder.com. Get your tickets to upcoming shows this week or next week, whatever it is. Boston, Detroit, Chicago, Baltimore. 4 straight days. Fucking kill us both. But come to the show because we're going to have a blast and then we'll die. Don't worry. So come out to the show. See us there. Buy some merch while you're there. Get a goddamn t-shirt to come to the show. All that shit's on the website. Also links to social media. You can follow us at Crime and Sports on Facebook and Twitter, and at Small Town Murder on Instagram. We're there. Also, you can follow the other links to be one of our best friends, our favorite people, our producers. You can do that. That is at patreon.com/crimeinsports or over at PayPal using our email address, which is another way to get a hold of us. crimeandsports@gmail.com. And And usually we have our list of producers right now. Just because we just got home.
We just got off a plane.
Jimmy literally just got off. We have not had a chance to compile the list this week because he's got to go through all that shit, and we didn't plumb out of time.
We'd rather get you a show than get you a list.
It was literally either they get a show tonight or they get a list some other time.
Those are the symptoms.
Those are the symptoms, guys. Those are the symptoms. That's going to be the title of this show, by the way. Those are the symptoms. Absolutely. So thank you. I got to write that down. So we are going to have shout outs on Small Town Murder. So if you want to hear your name for this week, and we'll figure it out how to get you in there. We will get you in there because goddamn it, we appreciate you so fucking much. But we appreciate you so much. We really, really wanted to get you a show.
This week we are going to work our balls off to get back to you
and
guys.
We're going to give you 2 Small Town Murders this week.
We were on the road and ordered a computer. We got everything handled.
Literally.
This is everything to us.
It was hard.
Everything to you, and we want to make sure that it's worth it.
We had Sarah with a terribly hurt back lugging a fucking iMac around a mall to get it out. Seriously, man, down the stairs, got it set up for us. Thank you, Sarah, because we wouldn't have been able to do this show on time if it wasn't for her helping us out with that. So thank you, because I got home too late from the airport.
And cousin Shannon coming through.
Yes, thank you. Yes, Jimmy's cousin Shannon.
Apple. She
got us a discount that we needed.
Christ
so thank you. Yeah, because these are expensive, but this won't fuck up like our other piece of shit did.
This will stay on the internet.
So, Jimmy, what if these people are staying on the internet and they want to find a guy like you? How might they do it?
On the internet, at Wisman Sucks, WHISMAN Sucks, on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. And I appreciate it. I've got to get back to you guys. I got a ton of things to do. This weekend was bananas.
It was too much.
Where can they catch up with you about your bananas weekend?
They can find me at Jimmy P is Funny, or that's on Twitter and stuff. And I'm going to be doing Instagram here because I have a profile. It's my name, copy and paste my name from the show description, James Petrogallo, because I finally
at James Petrogallo.
Yeah, it's at James Petrogallo on Twitter. I actually finally got my fucking name. I beat that lawyer in Pittsburgh for once. He beat me to Twitter, so I beat him to Instagram.
I want to just at
Dick's Pittsburgh lawyer,
and apparently there are too many Wismans, and some dude has it, and
bastard.
I think he doesn't use it much, but he's got a lot of followers. I think that's
what a
true.
bastard!
I don't remember.
Well, follow us there. Come see us. Do all that. Follow the show, and keep coming back week after week because we will. Not going anywhere. Crime and sports, it's contractually obligated. And we will tell you, we just signed up for another year starting in January, another 52 episodes for next year of Crime and Sports with the network. So we will be bringing you 52 episodes of Crime and Sports next year. We literally have to.
Yeah.
So we will. And we can't wait to do that. And we'll keep doing that. And live from the Crime and Sports studios, we will see you next week.
Bye.
If you like Crime and Sports, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey. Everyone out there should listen to Small Town Murder. You really should, mainly because you never know who's next door. And that's the point of this show, really. You never know who is next door. You never know what's going to happen on Small Town Murder. That's what makes it so wonderful. The only thing you do know is that people are going to die, and we're probably going to make jokes about it. That's it. That's all we can promise you. We dig into these towns. We see what makes them tick, from local legends to scandals they may have had. And, of course, the biggest scandals of all, horrible murders that take place there. And we put our, what I feel is a completely appropriate comedic spin on the whole thing. And you know you need a laugh right now. So get in there, listen to Small Town Murder, follow Small Town Murder on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to Small Town Murder early and ad-free right now on Wondery Plus.